My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. Jacob and I are going to break down the entire UFC 319 fight card, giving you our picks, our predictions, our bets, and our DraftKings Fantasy Plays for what should be a spectacular night of fights with the middleweight division on the line. But before we dive in, we got to say a quick thank you. Thank you for a couple things. First of all, Jacob, did you
crop out Shutterstock?
It was so funny. It was cropped on my version. I guess when it uploads into here, it's not cropped. We stole this graphic. The thank you is because, I don't know if you noticed, Jacob, we hit 10 million views today. Today we hit it. 10 million views. That's nuts. Nuts. 10 million times you people have tuned in for him or me or both of us, and it's been absolutely...
It says 9.7 on YouTube, so...
Bullshit. That's where I got the stat, was YouTube. Right here, 10 million views.
958.
No, it's quite literally 10,030,949.
That's not what it says on the channel.
I'm looking at the channel. Anyway, we appreciate you all. Every last one of you. I had a little call to action. I mean, hit refresh. I don't know. I'm looking at it here. I can't share this because this shows...
It's too late. We already said thank you. Can't say it twice. So.
Well, thank you. And I did a call to action on my Quick Picks video. I said, hey guys, I never ask you to click the subscribe button, but the analytics say that about 40% of you that watch these videos are not subscribed. So I asked you to click the subscribe button. And here's a good reason why. Yesterday, out of nowhere, out of the blue, Jacob sits down, puts together a video talking about the UFC's new deal with Paramount, what that means for the fighters, what it should mean for the fighters, and it was out of nowhere. And if you weren't subscribed, and if you didn't have the little bell clicked and all that stuff, you may not have seen this video come across your feed. So do us a favor, click the subscribe button, do that whole notification thing, because there will be random content to cover every now and then, as Jacob did a great job with yesterday's huge announcement. We do have a super chat right off the rip. David Rios, 1999. Can you guys make a long shot parlay, and if it hits, oil up Big Ange, please? Well, the good news is Betsam and Jacob do one every week anyway. So it's called Long Shot Legends, and it's on premium.
I'm not a part of that.
I thought he asked you for your input.
Hadn't asked me for months. That's his.
And I actually don't know if he did one last week. But Betsam was doing these long shot parlays, like plus 1,000 odds, stuff like that. So keep an eye out for those. I'm about to go ahead and plug premium a few times, okay? So settle in. But before I do that, I might as well show you how well I've been doing, right? So there's the order of operations. Hey, look how well I've been doing. And it wasn't just last week with this 39% ROI. It was also the last 6 cards. Over 6 units, almost 7 units of net profit. So because I'm doing well, and because the bets are doing well, and because we have the greatest suite of tools and inside information, maybe consider going to the website and click become a member. So that's the flow that we're about to hit here. Here's what the last 6 cards have looked like. Over 6 units of net profit for ya boy. 23% ROI on that. And a couple of these cards were absolute tricky as hell. But the website, wewantpicks.com, is more than just a couple of copy-paste bets. Anybody can throw up some copy-paste bets. We have a developer who is building tools from scratch, coding tools from scratch on the website. One of those tools is the fight simulator. This simulates every fight on the card 100,000 times, and it gives you the outputs. Not only does it tell you who wins in those simulations, but it also tells you all of the individual stats along the way. We just crushed a couple of prize picks entries doing the over-under on strikes because the fight simulator simulated the fights, told us how many strikes he was expecting, or I'm assuming it's a boy, expecting the fighters to land or not land. We have another tool called the Optimizer. This builds both DraftKings and FanDuel fantasy lineups for you. And if you don't know what those are, and you've seen the previous videos of people sending in $20,000, $10,000 winning DraftKings fantasy tickets, well, you can use the Optimizer to build those, and if you don't know how to do it, there's a little slider on the top called Beginner Mode. You click that, it'll walk you through a series of questions instead of expecting you to understand how to use the tool itself. We have a tape index as well, and this tool is going to be insanely valuable in a couple of months. I don't know if you remember, but yesterday the UFC made a giant announcement. Its entire catalog, all its content, everything in January is moving to Paramount Plus. We just kind of went through this when the UFC and ESPN have been going through their divorce. The Fight Library left ESPN and went over to Fight Pass. Now I assume it's going to leave Fight Pass and go to Paramount. The Tape Index lines all the fights up for you. You don't have to digging around the internet. Right there, ready to go. So this will be updated as the fights move around the interwebs. All of those tools, 50 other tools we didn't talk about, available right now on the website. It's $10 for an entire freaking month worth of access. A whole month, not a week, not an event, an entire month worth of access. And here's the 4 events that you will unlock this minute. UFC 319 this weekend. UFC Shanghai next week. UFC Paris after that. And then Noche UFC, which Jacob and I will be attending live and in person. WeWantPicks.com. It's freaking $10. If you really want to lock in, it's $100 for a year. $300 for lifetime. WeWantPicks.com. Couple more super chats. On well to Jacob. I made myself broke by following live. I thought your live stream bet's crushed. Guess what I'm going to do? Guess what? I'm going to do it again this weekend. Road to 100K. I've been begging Jacob to hang out with me this weekend.
Yeah, we hit some really good ones early, and then I said, if this one hits, I'm going to smoke some weed. And it hit, so then I got really high. And then the bets fell off. A little bit of a disaster. Someone asked who I have in this fight. I'm watching the Contender Series. If you guys are wondering what the fuck I'm doing right now, I'm watching Contender Series. The way this French guy was just swinging that hammer, no chance he wins. I don't know what I don't know anything about anything, but
isn't that how you typically break down? And the reason we're doing this today and not yesterday is because the UFC announcement. The reason we're late is because of me. Schedule's a little chaotic, but I promise you, we'll get through this. $2 super chat from Dylan Everything. Pico's level of comp is bad. Oh, Pico's level of comp is bad, yet he's the favorite. Oh, we'll break down that fight. We will break down that fight.
And let me shout out Reese Keaton, Napster, and Ogdog were the top 3 fans from my live stream. Live stream everyone's been very supportive. I appreciate that.
Reese Keaton sounds like a new name for the live stream leaderboard.
No, I don't know.
All right, well, appreciate you guys. Thanks for supporting Jacob on those long Saturdays. Anthony 4523, is Minty going to come back? And Angelo sent me my 50. I assume the 50's for the promo. I don't know. Fill out the form, send an email. I don't know where we are in that promo journey, but shoot us a message with the information, and we'll go ahead and take a look, get you paid. The Minty component, yeah, the problem with that was the post-weigh-in videos were just not doing that well. And if the weigh-ins were uneventful, it definitely didn't do well. If they were eventful,
and it ruined my fucking Friday.
Twitter was too fast, and Jacob's the one that had to edit it. So the answer is yes. We're just trying to figure out something. We had an idea for like a game show where you guys, viewers or premium members, have a set number of units, and it's sort of like a how long can you survive? I don't know. We just got to figure out. You guys give us suggestions. What content would you want her to do? And then we'll go ahead and add that content. But the post weigh-in, that was my idea, and we gave it a year, and it's just like, all right, well, this thing's capping out at 3,000 views, so maybe it's not what we thought it was going to be. And finally, this weekend is a pay-per-view. And for pay-per-views, I film vlogs. And the vlogs are cool for a few reasons. One, somebody in the Discord asked to see more pictures of my feet. The great news is I'm barefoot in the vlog sometimes, so you can check them out there. The other thing is it's a little bit of a different piece of content, a view behind the curtain. Just the boys being boys, hanging out, watching fights. You get live reactions, and we open mail. If you want to send something to be opened on the vlogs, we have binders full of letters. Anything you want to send, We Want Picks, P.O. Box 406, Prosper, Texas, 75078. Jacob, I believe that's the last intro slide. Are you ready to dive in, or do you have some words of wisdom for the people? Did you want to touch on your video about the new deal?
Nope, I'm just watching the fights. I think
okay.
It's the last fight, so.
Main event for Contender Series. Then let's go ahead and dive in. Speaking of Contender Series, we have a late addition to this card. And while it's not Contender Series, it is the finale of Tough. The Ultimate Fighter is airing, I think, literally right now. And it's the Chael Sonnen, Daniel Cormier season. One of the divisions, the flyweight division, has their finale, and this is it. The other division, the finale, the 2 fighters that will be fighting for the title of the Ultimate Fighter, I think are competing literally tonight. So the UFC's competing with itself between Contender Series and the Ultimate Fighter. But we're going to open up this fight card with Alibi Idris. You good? What happened? Oh, the dog. With Alibi Idris taking on Joseph Morales. Alibi Idris is 5-0 in his last 5, and that's because he is undefeated in his career at 10-0, and he's looking to be the first Kazakhstani to win the Ultimate Fighter. He's taking on Joseph Morales, 12-2 in his career. He is 3-2 in his last 5. He's looking to grind his way to a win. And this is going to be an interesting breakdown because, first of all, although it is official, meaning we know all of this information, we know the two people that will be fighting for the Ultimate Fighter title, it's not official anywhere else. There's no odds. It's not on DraftKings. The UFC hasn't acknowledged its existence, but I promise you this will be happening. The other thing that makes this interesting to break down is I don't watch the Ultimate Fighter. Now, I went back and I watched all the fights and I did the historical research, but I don't watch the actual Ultimate Fighter. So if there's any drama or plot lines, that's not in this breakdown. Not even the order they got drafted in, none of it. We got Alibi Idris. He is a proud Kazakhstani and he fights like one. If you've seen any of the Kazakhstanis fight, he fights very similar. He's loose on his feet. He's got fast hands. He's comfortable in all positions. He's so comfortable on his feet. And he has such nonstop forward pressure that he'll just go ahead and spin around for no reason more often than you'd like. He's not afraid to mix it up. He's got good wrestling, but he is squarely putting that wrestling as a plan B. He's taking on Joseph Morales, whose wrestling is plan A. He's a solid wrestler, a good grappler. He doesn't desperately shoot takedowns, but when he does shoot takedowns, he's got good control, good patience. His striking, not unbelievable, but he can take a shot. He's tough as hell. His issue on the feet is he's a bit too patient. But he does a good job bobbing and weaving, and he avoids some of the chaos that comes his way. This is a brand new matchup. We have no odds whatsoever. Nothing that even resembles a hint of an odd. So I have no idea what to imagine here as far as round lines are concerned, what to imagine as who's going to favorite. So I'm breaking this down raw and clean, and I am leaning the Kazakhstani. Morales is super tough. You could argue that his Ultimate Fighter semifinal fight should have gone
throw a fucking punch.
Should have gone the other direction, or the way the Ultimate Fighter works is you get a couple of rounds. If there's not a clear winner, you get another one. I am going to lean Idris here because while his striking is a little too ridiculous and he spins too much, which might open up the takedowns for Joseph Morales, I like Idris' striking a lot better. I like the pressure. Joseph doesn't love pressure, and I'm hoping Idris can defend all the takedowns. So I'm going to go with Idris here. Jacob, did you happen to break down this fight?
Uh-oh, the Frenchie's in trouble. I did.
And what are your thoughts?
I think this French guy's about to fuck up. Oh, my God, a headbutt. Oh, my God, we have quite possibly DQ illegal headbutt. This Frenchie is crying on his back because of a headbutt, acting like a Frenchie. Literally crying on the mat.
Sounds like a very French thing to do, huh?
That was a very illegal. He did that on purpose. That was a Pierre Rodriguez fucking headbutt there too. He literally went whap right on his eye. He didn't get cut, but he is acting like a little bit of a Frenchie right now. You're fine, buddy. Yeah, I like. It's probably going to be an Aliba. What's that fucking Aliba? I mean, he literally, like you said, he fights like a Sue Amabayev. I mean, he's just a little guy that does a lot of spinning wild shit that's got wrestling in his back pocket as well. But I will say, this guy Joseph Morales, really good wrestler, really good grappler, and if this guy comes in, Alibi, first round, blows his load, Joseph Morales is more than capable to take over this fight. So I fully expect Alibi to be the favorite in this fight, maybe minus 150, minus 200. But there could be a play here for Joseph Morales, maybe in the second, third, maybe the plus 3.5. He's a tough dude. It's probably going to go the distance. These guys are both very skilled everywhere. But I got to go Alibi from what I've seen, but I'm not going to bet him. I fully respect the toughness of Joseph and his wrestling and grappling abilities. So.
Yeah, I mean, I almost went to Joseph.
This guy's really putting on a fucking show.
He's still leaning into that headbutt. He's got
like a pad. He's not even bleeding. He's got like a little pad on, like a little maxi pad.
Was he losing the fight?
No, it just started. He got a leg caught and he got taken down. The guy just wham, wham.
I almost picked Joseph because I am concerned that Alibi is going to literally spin. Like, he spins way too much, and then all Joseph has to do is duck under it, take a shot. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to go with the undefeated kid who will lay it on the line, who does have wrestling.
What is this guy doing?
That's the direction I went. We have no picks. we have no bets. We have no round line leans. None of that exists as of this moment, Tuesday night, because it's not out there in the wild. But later in the week, if you're watching this, we may have some bets. We may have the
tiny little bump. Like, it's like, what is he doing?
Being French. Well, while he gets his croissant, you can go ahead and unlock.
Steve Urseg.
I'll do my little Steve Urseg rant real quick. Hell yeah. WeWantPicks.com. Click become a member at the top. Listen, I'll do my very quick little Steve Urseg rant. Listen, you guys, some of you are funny, some of you are kind, some of you are mean. It's a real melting pot in the comment section. But I never got more attacked for a take in my entire life than when I said Steve Urseg sucks. I said Steve Urseg sucks, and people lost their mind. And here's the reality of the Steve Urseg situation. He is ranked number 5 on planet Earth. He fought number 39 on planet Earth, almost gets knocked out because he refused to wrestle, then is desperately wrestling because he was almost knocked out. He's getting swept on the ground, and he barely squeaks by against the number 39 guy on the planet who notably has 0 takedown defense whatsoever. Steve Urseg, if you run through the top 10, he can't beat any of them, and he quite literally has beaten none of them. Steve Urseg earned a title shot with wins over 3 people who no longer have jobs at the UFC. Anybody he fought anywhere near the rankings got smoked. They beat him. So Steve Urseg is not the guy. Apparently, he's the most loved person in the UFC, though, because you guys really went for me. You really went for me.
He handled it fine. He got dropped, then he started wrestling, then he outstruck him in the second round, and then he just went to the wrestling in the third round, got the win, got out of there. What did we say when we broke down that fight? Just get the win, get out of there. He got the win.
Yeah, wrestle. He waited.
He did.
So my issue is for a couple things that people were replying with and just short-sighted.
Oh, my God, do an omoplata.
People were like, that was at 135 pounds. He's a 125-pounder. So is O'Day.
O'Day was fighting at 145.
And then but he's a 125-pounder. His last fight was at 25. The fight before, he's a 125-pounder. It's not anybody's fault if he can make the weight. Then people were like, it's short notice for Steve. It's short notice for O'Day. Steve's the one who had the full camp. It's short notice for O'Day. So people just saying whatever. And then I get your point. Well, he did make the adjustment. And I didn't call him a pussy. I said he sucks.
He might hit a little fucking anaconda here.
I didn't say he was soft. He did take his beating, and he did adjust. My issue is, why the hell did you wait till you were almost knocked out to do the smart thing? Because he was getting tagged long before that almost knockout. It's not like it was like with Cody where he came out, bang, got hit. He was exchanging, getting hit, losing all of the strike exchanges, then got dropped.
Oh!
So, yes. That was my issue with him, and then a sharp brother has the same take. Steve stayed striking with him way too long. He should have immediately wrestled.
I like the way you said that, brother. A sharp
That's
brother.
how it's spelled. I didn't eliminate letters to be cool. I read it verbatim. All right, next fight. Next up, at UFC 319, we have another new fight on this card. We have a lady fight. We have Karine Silva taking on Dione the Witch Barbosa. Karine Silva was already on this card. She lost her opponent. Dione's the one stepping up on short notice. Karine is 18-5 in her career, 4-1 in her last 5. She's coming off that decision loss to Viviane Araújo, taking on Dione Barboza, 8-3 in her career, 4-1 in her last 5. She's coming off that submission win in her last fight, and that was over Diana Belbita. This is an interesting fight to break down because both women are good. They're both primarily grapplers. They both excel at the same but different things. Karine Silva is a powerful grappler. She's constantly moving forward, always looking for a submission, both off her back and on top. On the ground, she's nasty. She's going to plot forward. She's got a tight guard on the feet. She'll throw a flurry of punches. She'll rush in. She'll clinch the body. She's going to drag you to the ground. She has an enormous amount of finishes. 18 wins, 17 of them are by finish. I mentioned she's coming off that decision loss to Viviane Araújo, where the takedown defense was not there, and that's why it's going to be interesting because Dione Barboza is also a grappler. She'll throw some solid strikes, but she's looking to get it to the ground. She is a judoka, so she can toss. She's got great hips. She'll tie you up. She'll clinch. She'll strike in there, and then she'll work her throw. Dione the Witch Barboza.
She's on like the national Brazilian judo team.
Correct. So now, and she's coming off that submission win over Diana Belbita, which I don't know, matters or doesn't. Diana's kind of done. I understand that Karine is the favorite here. It makes sense to me. She was already on the card. She has 17 finishes in her 18 wins. She's very dangerous. The jiu-jitsu's there, so even if Dione tosses her ass, she's got to worry on the ground. But the reality is, I am picking Dione. I think Dione will win this fight. I understand it's short notice, but she is strong. She hits hard. She's got good offensive wrestling, and I think she's got good submission defense. I'm not worried about Dione getting subbed here. I am worried about the short notice, but the wider this line gets, because this was just like plus 120 the other day, the wider this line gets, we might get an affordable plus 3.5. I am picking Dione Barboza. Jacob, she's been your lock of the week in the past.
Yeah, this is, and I can't stress this enough, guys, and I say it every single time, this is a biased pick, but there is some basis behind it. I love Dione. I love what she represents in this game, and I think that the hands are going to surprise a lot of people. I mean, the hand improvements that she's been making is absolutely incredible, and if she's got the striking advantage against Karine, and Karine I don't think is going to be able to get the takedowns against Dione, because Dione with that judo background got good hips, can really toss her, and is also capable on the ground even if it gets there. And you saw that as if you were just making Karine work, that you can sweep her, you can do all sorts of stuff, because Vivi was doing that same thing. So, Karine's going to come through with that pressure. As long as Dione doesn't get worn down, I think this is kind of her fight to win, or her fight to lose, whatever that fucking phrase is. I think she's a better striker, can handle herself in the grappling, and I think Karine is a little bit of boom or bust. She's going to dominate a girl, or it's going to be close. If it's close, I think Dione's the better fighter. So I'm on Dione here. Biased pick. Don't listen to me. I don't give a fuck.
There we go. Both of us picking the dog. There is something I would like to point out here.
By the way, I did that whole breakdown while watching this fight.
I
No
noticed.
script or anything, and I'm just like, I can just do two things at once. It's crazy.
I mean, congratulations on the ability to split the mind.
Nothing's really
there.
happening in this round, by the way.
The and the Contender Series main events are
Did
still
Jason
just 3 rounds, right?
take a point? I think he took a point in the first round, right? Didn't he? I didn't see it officially.
I'm not watching that shit.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to chat.
Oh, the chat. Oh, hey, chat. One quick thing I'm going to point out here, as somebody pointed out very aggressively in the comment section, they said, this guy has a paid service and didn't point out that this is a rematch. And I said, buddy, their first fight was 6 years ago. Who gives a shit? I don't give a shit.
2-round fight too, wasn't it?
Dude, I don't give a shit. I have been very vocal. If I am breaking down a rematch and their first fight wasn't like 1 or 2 years ago, I don't care. And Dione won that fight.
Dione isn't the
Neither
same
one
fighter
of them
she
are.
was like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Her hands are fucking. She's gonna surprise some people with her hands.
The fact that people care that much about the rematch, I understand if it's a close rematch, or the fight was close and it was recent. But we're talking 6 years ago. It doesn't matter. Look what Max Holloway just did to Dustin. And the last time people jumped down my throat for not pointing out the fight was a rematch, it was like Melissa Mullins and what's her name a couple months ago, and Melissa Mullins got the shit kicked out of her. The first fight, she took Daria. Was that who it was? She took her down in the first fight and controlled with the grappling. There was a big edge there. And everybody was like, it's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. And then guess what happened?
Should have. She just didn't try.
Got her ass kicked. More than a couple years, I don't care about the first fight. Is he the favorite or you don't know?
He is the favorite, and he's winning, but he's not doing fucking anything. Neither one of these guys is.
Morgan Charrier is the only tough one. The rest of them, soft. Guys, we don't have DraftKings pricing for this fight just yet because this is a brand new addition to the fight card because, as I mentioned, Karine lost her original opponent. But if you want to check out every pick, every bet, every tool, WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member.
It's Southpaw and Orthodox, so they're just playing fucking patty cake.
Dude, I don't want people. I know people love Contender Series, and I get it. Like, you fight fans.
They're
you
always great fights.
I just, I don't care. I don't know why. I just can't get into it. I've watched Contender Series.
These people are fighting for literally their
lives.
I
understand.
Oh, he's yelling at him now.
Like, I understand it.
He's just walking this Frenchie down, barking at him. The Frenchie's fucking scared out of his mind now.
I just can't.
He's getting tired of him running.
It's the last round.
It's about to be. Could be interesting.
There we go. Next up, At UFC 319, we have one of the more interesting fights on the card. We have Bryan Battle taking on Nursulton Ruziboev. Bryan Battle, 12-2 in his career. He is 4-0-1 in his last 5. He's coming off that questionable win over Randall Brown. Taking on Nursulton Ruziboev, 36-9 in his career, 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming off that finish win over Eric Makanico. I do want to point out this fight is at 185 pounds. Bryan Battle's fat ass missed weight in his last fight, and now here he is up at 185 pounds. This is a kid that was 300 pounds when he started his journey. Then he really dialed it in, started to lose some weight, physically was looking spectacular, fight after fight after fight. Shows up with Randy Brown, heavy, missed the weight, wasn't able to cut the extra. Then inside the fight, just kind of holding Randy against the cage. It wasn't really the performance that we got when he went to France and knocked the dude out. Bryan Battle is a good fighter. Bryan Battle can do all the things. He can strike. He can offensively grapple. Lately, he has been doing a lot of cage control. He's a pretty durable guy. Seems to have a chip on his shoulder. I don't know the reason for this weight jump, though. I understand he missed weight in his last fight, but it was a one-off. It's not as if he's missed weight 5 times and the UFC forced him to. So I don't know what this is about. And it's not the easiest fight at middleweight because he's taking on Nursulton Ruziboev. This guy is 6'5". He sends laser shots right down the pike. And you guys are going to be like, oh, all he has is that big straight right hand. And I'm going to be like, Emilio? No. On the regional scene, this dude is a nonstop wrestler. Taking people down, picking them up, slamming them down, catching kick. Like, he is a very well-rounded fighter. We just haven't had to see the grappling yet because his hands have been so good. His only loss in the UFC was at 170 pounds in a very short turnaround against Joaquin Buckley, and this guy is 6'5". How he made 170, I have no idea. I am going to pick Nursulton here. I think those big straight punches right down the middle. I think the ability to wrestle if he needs to. I think the fact that he's 6'5". And I think Bryan Battle's going to struggle with the range, just look to hold Nursulton against the cage, and I don't think it's going to work out for him. I am picking Nursulton to win, and I have a bet on him. I did a money line bet at plus 150. I don't think Bryan Battle changing weight classes after a bad performance is the right move to have. So, Nursulton's the pick. What do you think, Jacob?
This guy Santana spent the last 15 seconds of the second round running after this guy barking, and now the third round started and they're doing the same thing, just playing fucking patty cake for the first minute and a half. So, I don't know what the fuck this guy's deal is. Yeah, I've been a Bryan Battle. I would probably classify myself as
You did the full circle, yeah.
I've been a Bryan Battle. I would classify myself as like a Bryan Battle hater at this point. I've picked against him before. I think I had him against Juice. I don't know if I had him against Randy Brown. I can't remember, but I've never been a big fan of what Bryan Battle brings into the octagon. I said he was just kind of a jiu-jitsu nerd that was able to tough out some fights. He got dropped against AJ Fletcher. How he didn't get dropped against Randy Brown, I don't know. The guy is just so stationary in the striking. If he wins this fight, it's going to be hugging again. And I don't think he's going to be hugging a guy like Nursulton. He's going to come in. He's going to try to crash in. And Nursulton is a fucking sniper with that right hand. And Bryan Battle just does not move his fucking head. Watch the first round of that fucking Randy Brown fight. Randy Brown was just lighting this dude up until he was able to grab on Randy Brown. And even if he gets this guy Nursulton on the ground, Bryan Battle, I don't think, is as good on the ground as a guy like a Dustin Stoltzfus. And Dustin Stoltzfus had this guy in all sorts of trouble, and he just kind of worked through it. He's a very accomplished grappler. He wasn't panicking in any situations, was able to get to better positions. Seems pretty cut and dry to me. The guy, Nursulton's better on the feet. He's better on the ground. I can't believe these odds are what they are. This is one of those rare circumstances in 2025 that I'm seeing dog odds. I don't know why this guy's a fucking dog. I think he's going to hurt Bryan Battle, and we'll see if he's able to put him away. But I'm not going to take a guy that needs to hug to win, and that's going to be Bryan Battle.
Yeah, I mean, you and I are super aligned on this one, especially because I don't know why it's at middleweight. Like, I genuinely have no idea. This dude was dedicated to his weight loss journey, physically changed. Like, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. Why are you going up in weight? First of all, he won that last fight. No reason to make that giant adjustment.
He didn't win the last fight.
I agree with you. I agree. It was a bad decision, but I'm saying it's not as if he got an L on his record and now he's just drastically changing things. Makes no sense. But Here he is, up in weight against the Giant. It should be a pretty straightforward fight. So $7,600 in DraftKings Fantasy. Nursulton has been putting up numbers because he's been finishing people. Problem is, if he doesn't finish Bryan, I don't know what those numbers will be, but that's a very affordable price point. I mentioned I already have a moneyline bet on him at plus 150. If you want to check out every other pick, every other bet, every other tool.
That's the worst fight I've ever seen.
On the website, WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. Somebody asked if I was a casual for not watching Contender Series. Listen, I love fights, but I love fights that I care about. Like, I love fights where I know the fighter or is on a card where I know. Like, I'm not going to tune into fights where I don't know any of them. Like, I watched Contender Series when it was Nick Newell because I managed Nick Newell. I watched when Matt Bissett was on there because I managed Matt Bissett. I watched when it was Bo Nickel, of course. I'm not watching when it's like, I don't know. I was interested before we went live. I asked Jacob how that dude that missed weight did when he was supposed to fight a few weeks ago. So I kind of care, but it's
God, Jason Herzog just fucking stopped the fight with 11 seconds to go to put these guys back on the ground because it was a bad night. I'm actually kind of glad I didn't stream this tonight. These are bad fights tonight.
Yeah, and that's on me. Contender Series is funny. You know, Contender Series is not, and neither is The Ultimate Fighter. They're not part of that Paramount deal. So they may end up somewhere else. Yeah. Which is interesting.
Said, we don't want Power Slap.
That's so funny. I could picture Dana in those meetings like, guys, trying to shove Power Slap in there. Dude, Power Slap sucks. Am I casual for not liking that either? Everybody says it's amazing live, but on TV, like, that's just not fun to watch.
Yeah, I think live, it's just because it's like a whole VIP experience.
Yeah. $2 super chat from Santiago Mendez. Angelo reminds me of George Costanza. First of all, that guy was the assistant to the traveling secretary at the Yankees, so I'll take it. Second, I like George.
I think only one guy's going to get a contract, and that was Chimaev's training partner.
Oh, big week for the Chimaevs. Nursulton, notably, Chimaev's training partner for this camp. Bing, bong, boom.
Really?
There you go. Yes.
He's at Kill Cliff?
You changing your pick? No, he's been with Nursulton. Nursulton has been with Chimaev in this fight camp. And
Envy has been at Kill Cliff is what they said in the Contender Series.
That Jackson, whatever. Yeah, and I only know because Envy has been sending me all the video clips, and Nursulton's just in the background training in all of the clips of this training camp.
At the same gym.
Well, we're training together. And very quickly, I put the circle thing, and you were like, ugh. You hated Bryan Battle. You hated Bryan Battle. I think you hated him a third time. Then you went full circle. Like, I can't hate on this dude. He comes out. And then now you're back to hating him. That's a full circle.
If little stubby arm AJ Fletcher is dropping you. I've always said he's just kind of a jiu-jitsu nerd. That's what he wants to do. I mean, at his core, he is a jiu-jitsu guy. He's good, very good on the ground. Bryan Battle is, but he's just, he's so stationary in his defense.
Yeah, and he is tough as shit, but that only works for so long. Next up, at UFC 319, we have Edson Barboza taking on Drakkar Klose, and some of the most dramatic line movement we've had on this card. Edson Barboza opened up as a small underdog, and now he's like right smack in the middle of the road favorite. Edson Barboza, 24-12 in his career. He's 2-3 in his last 5. He's coming back after more than a year away, and he's taking on Drakkar Klose, 15-3 in his career. 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming off that finished loss to Joel Alvarez. I had a hard time picking this fight because it's a pretty even kind of matchup. Edson Barboza, I think skill for skill is the better fighter, right? He's a great striker. He's got phenomenal jiu-jitsu. He's got incredible footwork. He's fast. He's twitchy, insanely technical. He doesn't initiate a lot of takedowns, but his jiu-jitsu is very good. He's got sneaky submissions. He is coming off that loss about a little more than a year ago to Lerone Murphy in that main event where the just timing and the takedowns were a bit too much. Taking on Drakkar Klose. Drakkar Klose is a guy that has evolved from a wrestler to a striker. He started as a wrestler. He was a state champion wrestler. He worked his way into the UFC, used the wrestling. Then he started to really pour on the striking. And now he doesn't really wrestle as much. He's got solid boxing, he's got good power, overall well-rounded guy. He can go the distance, or he could potentially find a finish. He's coming off that finish loss, though, to Joel Alvarez, where he had a takedown, but he just could not hang in the striking. And the first thing people are going to do here is point out that Edson is old. And he is old. But so is Drakkar. Drakkar Klose is 37, and Drakkar Klose has had a litany of injuries over the last couple of years. So I don't think age is going to be a factor, but pace might be. When you get to be 38, 39 years old, and you're Edson's size, cutting that amount of weight, carrying that muscle mass, to be able to be high pace, high energy for a full 15 minutes is not easy. And that's why this breakdown is so hard, because I think Edson's the better fighter. I think he's literally the better striker. I think he's the better grappler. The wrestling, probably the Drakkar edge, the danger on the Edson side. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Edson Barboza, but I don't think I can possibly draw a line in the sand and place a bet here. I think it is just razor thin. What do you think, Jake?
I'm kind of all over Edson Barboza in this fight. Drakkar Klose is just he just like a weeble wobble in there at this point. He's getting wobbled, he's getting hurt in fights, and he's definitely got power to throw back. And Edson, he got dropped by Bryce Mitchell. The way that Drakkar fights, the way that Drakkar Klose fights, the way he strikes, and the way that Edson fights, fight does not go the distance. I think it's plus 110. I think there's going to be a finish in this fight. Either Drakkar's going to land something and hurt Edson, or Edson's going to fuck this dude up. And I fully expect Edson to land something that's going to hurt Drakkar. I mean, that last fight against Joel Alvarez, I know it ended with the knee and against the fence, but before that, Joel was just like a little baby jab, and Drakkar was doing the chicken dance. I just can't trust his chin. I assume he's going to come in and try to wrestle, but Edson's got pretty good takedown defense, especially at, maybe it's a little bit different now that he's back at 155. It was a little bit easier maybe at 145, or maybe he was more drained. He's going to be a little more stronger now. But the speed of Edson is going to surprise Klose, and the way Klose is getting his chin touched, I just can't trust. I think there's a finish, and I think it's going to be Edson knocking this guy out.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to going on that side. I do worry about the weight cut, and obviously you mentioned he's at 155 here. He carries a lot of muscle, and he's big, even for 55. This guy's almost 6 feet tall, and look how jacked he is.
He's been making 145, no problem.
I get it, but they get older. It gets a little harder. Look what happened to
155. He's good to go.
I mean, he should be. I picked him. I get a little worried. But Jacob and I both on the Edson Barboza side, $8,300 in DraftKings Fantasy. And if he does showcase here, that's going to be some of the best value you're going to get on this card. And this is a weird card, though. Jacob, this might be the first card all year where we don't have a -4, -5, -600 favorite. I think the biggest favorite on this card is like -330, and it's Chase Hooper. Literally. This is the only card this entire year without a -4, -5, -600 favorite. And boy, is it dicey. But we found some spots. We've already got bets on the board. There's a whole lot more coming. And if you don't want to just copy-paste bets, you want to see what the artificial intelligence has to say. If you want to use any of the tools like the Fight Simulator, the Prop Hunter, the Data Analyzer, all of those tools are in one single package. It's $10. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. It's an entire month's worth of access. No upsell, no cross-sell, no bullshit. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. We have a $4.99 super chat from Sam Davis, 1304. I just made a bag thanks to Bet Sam. I'll miss you this weekend, Jacob, but I'll catch you on the next stream. Well, thank you, Sam. I don't know what, I don't know if you're talking about made a bag from UFC Vegas 109 or if Bet Sam gave you some Contender Series stuff, but we appreciate you.
Dana just fucking ripping these dudes.
What is he? He's just saying they suck.
Hold on. He said to Silva, I don't know if you have watched this show or not. The guy landed 5 strikes and 1. He's just fucking ripping these dudes. Hold on, I don't listen to this.
I can hear him through your headphones. Crazy. He's just ripping into these kids?
Yeah, he's gonna.
All right, I'm gonna you can mute me. I gotta move on. And before I move on, I am going to talk about that data analyzer. The tool I haven't mentioned in a while, but what the data analyzer does is it has every single fighter on every single card now and for the future. And once you select your event and then select your fighter, you'll have your fighter, their full statistical history. It'll line them up against their opponent on their upcoming fight. And then you can add, remove filters, drag, drop things. It's very, very powerful, very, very flexible. You can quickly filter on the data that you want to see. You can tell whatever story you want to tell, and you can find your spots. It's great for prop bets. It's great for just good old-fashioned research. So if you like to do your own research, you like to dig into the stats, the data analyzer is the way to do it. And as I said, it is built out for the future. You're not just stuck week to week. You can check out the data analyzer on the website. Next up, at UFC 319, we have Chase Hooper taking on Alexander Hernandez. Chase Hooper is the biggest favorite on the card, and he is still under -400. Chase Hooper 16-3 in his career. He is 5-0 in his last 5, and he is undefeated at lightweight. He's taking on Alexander Hernandez, 16-8 in his career. He is 3-2 in his last 5, and he's on a nice little 2-fight win streak. This is another fight that's not the easiest thing to break down. I understand Chase Hooper being the favorite, but the reality is this is actually a pretty good matchup for Alexander Hernandez. Alexander Hernandez is good. I know his record's a bit spotty, but he's a well-rounded guy. He's got power in his hands. He's got speed. He's athletic. He's got wrestling. He has everything you need to be successful. The only thing every now and then that he doesn't have is some fight IQ. But he's coming off that win over Kurt Holobaugh, where he was getting tagged up a little bit, but he made his adjustments. He started to wrestle, and he beat Kurt just with a complete pivot halfway through that fight. He's taking on Chase Hooper. Chase Hooper's a slick grappler. He has improving takedowns. His striking is improving as well. It wasn't long ago that he was just this little baby face 145-pounder that couldn't take anybody down. But now here he is, filled out, a little older, a little more solid, shooting real takedowns, has solid hands. He's pretty big at 6'1", and the reality is Chase Hooper is now a pretty well-rounded fighter, even though he started as a straight, like the definition, the poster child of jiu-jitsu nerd. Chase Hooper might honestly be a decent matchup for Alexander, because in all likelihood, he's going to need to get the takedowns to win here. Alexander's super fast, has his own very good hands. He also has solid takedown defense. So if Alexander Hernandez is able to stop a couple of these takedowns, and he's tagging Chase Hooper, I don't know where Chase goes from there. I am going to pick Chase Hooper, though, because I like the height advantage. His ability on the ground is just next level good. So even if he doesn't submit or finish Alexander Hernandez, he could tie him up, get him in a weird position, look good for the judges that he's working towards something. So I am going to pick Chase Hooper, but I think a solid bet here is +3.5. I think Alexander Hernandez can not only survive, but also win a single round. This is the exact same thing I did last week with Andre Feely in the breakdown, but the actual bet, the +3.5, this is what I did with Miles Johns. I was like, dude, Miles Johns is good. Miles Johns can 100% win a round, and that's exactly what we got, and I think we could get that here too. What do you think, Jacob?
Yeah, I think there's probably a finish. Chase is going to look probably his line. I know people don't really trust it too much, but it just comes down to me like a size, a physicality thing. Alexander Hernandez is a guy that's kind of a tweener. He's not really 155er, but he's a little bit too big for 145. Chase really filling into this man body now, getting more physical at 155, improving the striking. And he basically just kind of blitzes in with that striking, crashes in, grabs you, and then once he's on the ground, you're not fucking going anywhere. So Chase can probably find a finish. If not, this is probably going to be a 30-27. If there's any issues, I guess, I mean, there's always going to be issues in a fight. It's a fucking fist fight. But Chase has all the opportunity in the world to dominate this fight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm picking Chase as well. I do worry about Alexander's just raw athleticism and speed. And if he defends a few takedowns, you don't worry Chase is going to panic?
No. Chase just kind of does what he does.
Yeah.
And Alex slows down. He always slows down, so.
He does slow down, and Chase honestly might not even need a takedown. What was that fight where Mackenzie Dern? Well, it was against not Raquel Pennington, Tisha Torres. She just climbed her back against the cage.
Well, yeah, I mean, he doesn't need takedowns. He just needs scrambles to initiate scrambles.
Yeah. Well, we are on the same side here. $9,300 in DraftKings Fantasy for Chase Hooper. You're going to need a finish to cover that because That's a lot of money to spend on a guy that's going to win by decision. So you probably need to finish there. And if you do think he gets one, then go ahead and throw him in your DraftKings fantasy lineup. I might explore that plus 3.5 bet. I think Alexander can survive here, but we'll see what those odds are and then assess the risk from there. If you do want to check out every pick, every bet, every tool, all available on the website right now, ready to go. WeWantPicks.com. Just click Become a Member at the top. Next up, at UFC 319, we have Jessica Andrade taking on Lupita Godinez. This is another very interesting fight. This card is sneaky good. Almost every matchup that we've broken down is an impactful matchup for the division, is an interesting matchup for the fans, and it matters in some capacity. This is no different. This is a very good fight that matters a lot for both of their futures. Is Jessica Andrade fully washed? Is Lupi as good as she's supposed to be? But these odds continue to tighten. So the public is saying that she might not be. But we got Jessica Andrade, 26-14 in her career. She is 2-3 in her last 5. She's coming off that submission loss to Jasmine Jasudavicius, taking on Lupi Godinez, 13-5 in her career, 3-2 in her last 5. She's coming off that battle with diarrhea. In her last fight, she beat Julia Pilastri, and she quite literally almost shit her pants. She was live mic'd in the corner with her coaches, and she said, I have to poop. I have to poop. And she said it in English. But she didn't poop, and she was able to win that fight. Lupi's always tough to break down because she's good at everything. She's a good striker, a very good wrestler. Her sister is literally an Olympian, and she's been training with her sister forever. Lupi is good at all the things except she does make some dumbass decisions for no reason whatsoever. She is tough. She is a bully. And she is good. As long as the mind is there, she can beat pretty much anybody in this division. And she's going to need her mind because I don't know if she's going to out-physical Jessica Andrade. Jessica Andrade, former world champion. She's a contender in multiple different weight classes. She's beaten some of the best women on planet Earth, and she's just physically imposing. She's not very technical. She's got some takedown issues. But she'll come forward. She'll bomb away. She's got some very real power. She's not afraid to get into a scrap. And she will just bully you and be gritty and stay in your face. It didn't quite work for her against Jasmine Jasudavicius, but Jasmine's huge. Jasmine has good wrestling. Every Lupi breakdown is exactly the same. You talk about her being the better fighter. You talk about how good she is everywhere. Then you express concern about the fact that she's been inconsistent. You complain about the odds, but you pick her anyway. This one's a tiny bit different because these odds are wildly affordable. I think Lupi wins this fight. I think it's a very straightforward fight. Lupi is tough as hell. I don't see her getting bullied. And if she just decides to wrestle, this is easy, breezy, and minus 145 is a discount from the minus 210 she opened at. What do you think, Jacob?
Yeah, anybody pretending like they know what's going to happen in a Lupi fight has not watched enough Lupi fights. I've been a big fan of Lupi for a long time, and I've been frustrated with Lupi for a long time. Every time I pick her, seems like she loses. Every time I pick against her, it seems like she wins. I'm taking Lupi. She's a better fighter. She can beat any girl in this division at any time. I do worry about how she just kind of stands with that boxing stance, that Lobo gym with the high guard, because Andrade will just fucking shouldn't care if your fucking hands are up. She's going to just split your guard and throw some heavy shit. But Lupi should have the takedowns. She's got the better, cleaner striking. She does get hits. We'll see if Andrade can lay on some shit. But Lupi's good enough to beat anybody. She should win.
Agreed. And even her last fight, it's like, oh, good, she got a win, but over who? Like, her wins aren't Julia Pilastri.
Is fucking good. That's crazy. That's crazy to think that she's not good.
Dude, my concern with Lupi, who I am picking, I am very confident in here, is her wins are not as good as her almost wins. Should have beat Dern, couldn't beat Dern.
And she's a fucking dog.
Well, I did point out in the quick pick video that having to shit your pants and holding it in during a fist fight has to be an impossible task. Has to be. I can bet, like, you get the goosebumps, you have to shit so bad, and she's still throwing punches, not letting it out. Good for her. $8,400 in DraftKings Fantasy. If you do think she gets the takedowns, that will absolutely 100% be worth your money. Seems like a very affordable price point for a very good fighter who scores pretty well in her wins. And if you want to check out every pick, every bet, every tool, WeWantPicks.com, just click Become a Member at the top. It's $10 for an entire month worth of access. Next up, At UFC 319, another very tricky fight to break down. We have Gerald Meerschaert taking on Michal Oleksiejczuk in a fight that is a clash of styles. One of these men is a very good grappler. The other one is a very good striker. And they both have giant skill gaps on the other side. We got Gerald Meerschaert, the grappler, 37-19 in his career. He is 2-3 in his last 5. He is on that 2-fight skid, taking on Michal Oleksiejczuk, 20-9 in his career, 2-3 in his last 5. He is coming off that bounce-back win over SD Dumas. Gerald Meerschaert, I mentioned, just a very good grappler. He's tough. He's never going to quit, but he can be chinned. He can be knocked out, but that's not him quitting. That's his body. He's a very good grappler. If you end up on the ground with him, you can end up in a lot of trouble. He's had more than one come-from-behind victory. He doesn't quite have the wrestling to always get it there. We have seen some beautiful doubles randomly, but we've also seen some sloppy nonsense. He has a 31% takedown accuracy. He is coming off that competitive loss to Brad Tavares, where unfortunately the takedowns went 0 for 8. He's taking on Michal Oleksiejczuk. He's the striker in this matchup. A very good striker at that, with fast hands, a ton of pressure early. He does have power. He has 7 knockouts in his 8 UFC wins. And while he is dangerous on the feet, his grappling holes are tremendous. He can also fade as fights go on. He is coming off that knockout win over SD Dumas, where some people felt it was a little early, but the reality is he did us all a favor. I mean, if you think Gerald Meerschaert gets this to the ground, then Gerald Meerschaert's the pick. Period. End of story. If you think Michal can keep the fight standing, then Michal's the pick. Period. End of story. It's a very cut and dry, one side or the other. The reality is Michal Oleksiejczuk can probably sneak this out. So I'm going to pick him to win, but I just can't believe we have a minus 220 favorite in this fight. This should be 50-50. It's either on the ground or it's not, and whether it gets there or not is anybody's guess. I'm picking Michal because the hands are just more dangerous. What do you think, Jacob?
I think Michal's going to fuck him up. The last time that Gerald fought like an actual striker was Edmund Shabazian, and Edmund fucked him up. So much so that he got exhausted fucking him up so bad that then he ended up getting fucking submitted because of it. But, I mean, he was just lighting Gerald up. Everyone that knows how to throw a punch or knows how to throw a kick lights this guy up. Obviously, if he gets a takedown, he gets a takedown. It is what it is. But I'll take the guy. The fight starts on the feet. He brings the pressure. Gerald's always getting hit. Edmund was fucking lighting him up. I think Michal's going to light him up and get the knockout.
I mean, I went that way, too. I just get so nervous. I mean, look what happened when he fought freaking very unserious, tall, lanky Kevin Holland. So I do worry about he ends up on the ground. He's going to be in a world of trouble, but he may end up on there because he's standing over the dude. $9,000 in DraftKings Fantasy, $7,200 in DraftKings Fantasy. If you think Michal finds that finish, then $9,000 is the way to go. Period. End of story. If you don't think he finds that finish, then I don't know if he's going to win a decision necessarily, because he will slow down as the fight goes on, and Gerald might be able to rip him to the ground. This is a weird fight. If you're as confident as Jacob was, then 10 toes down, stand on business. Michal Oleksiejczuk is the pick. Go to We Want Picks to see what the artificial intelligence has to say, what Artem has to say, what BetSam has to say, and what all the tools have to say about this fight. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top.
Yeah, the amount of people, and you already see it in the chat, they were playing Gerald by sub. That's a red flag. When everyone, the whole public is like, oh, Gerald by sub, he's probably getting fucking flatline.
I mean, he does get absolutely smoked. And I specifically pointed out he's not a quitter.
He got
but
knocked down and was just getting beat on until Edmund literally couldn't punch him anymore and then just fucking gave up.
Yeah. Literally, just don't go to the ground with him and you can beat him. He's tough as hell, but, you know, that only lasts so long.
Dude, he just
especially at 37 years old.
That's all he does.
And he's not a young man. He's 37 years old. Yeah, who did he drop? Was it Andre Petrosky? Am I thinking of the wrong fight? He dropped somebody or wobbled him pretty bad.
I don't know. Fucking RDR dropped him.
Well, yeah, RDR's different level. That was the sloppiest shit, though, but yes. Next up, at UFC 319, we have the featured prelim of the evening. We have King Green, formerly Bobby Green, taking on Diego Ferreira. King Green, 32-17 in his career, 2-3 in his last 5. He is on a very unfortunate 2-fight skedaddle. He's taking on Diego Ferreira. And I never know if it's Ferreira. He's taking on Ferreira Rochers. Now I'm getting too excited. Diego Ferreira is 19-6 in his career, 2-3 in his last 5. He's coming off that decision loss to a wet blanket, the most boring guy in the UFC, Grant Dawson. Bobby Green, or King Green, what is his nickname now? Does he have a nickname anymore?
His name is King.
I know. So does he have a nickname? It was Bobby King Green. Now it's King Green. Did he give himself a new nickname?
I don't know. You have to ask him. I don't know.
Well, King Green is a busy striker. He's got that showboat Roy Jones Jr. style, right? The hands are a little too low. He bobs, he weaves, he connects. He tries to back out. But as you get older, that whole bob, weave, let you throw, I'm going to counter strike, that whole game doesn't quite age as well as you do because you need the speed, you need the timing. That's some of the first thing that go. But the reality is he's a very good striker who also has wrestling. He's got some wrestling in his back pocket. We've seen flashes of it. We also just watched him get flash knocked out with that insane spinning heel kick from Mauricio Ruffy. He's taking on Diego Ferreira. Diego Ferreira is a very good BJJ guy. He has power in his hands. And even though he's a grappler, he will stand there. He will strike with people. And even though he's a grappler, he will absolutely get after it. His takedown defense is 57%, but that is skewed because if you run through his fight history, he has fought a ton of very high-level wrestlers, including Grant Dawson, where he came out a little tentative, and then once he got taken down a few times and realized this is nothing, he really started to pick up the pace and let his hands go. Diego's definitely the more dangerous of these two fighters, without question. We have seen him. The way he knocked out Michael Johnson was like, oh my God. So he's definitely the more dangerous of these two fighters. He's also the more durable of these two fighters. But his takedown defense is not great. And while Bobby isn't this like die-hard wrestler, he does have underrated wrestling. And even though Diego has the power advantage, Bobby's probably the cleaner, better striker. This is a close fight. I was surprised in this, as was in the last fight, that we have a considerable favorite. The odds are a little deceiving here. It shows that Diego opened at -155 and he's -145 now. That obviously it's tightened and it indicates that it's tightening. But just 3 days ago, Diego was -190. Like it bowed out and then came back. I'm going to pick Diego because he is more dangerous. He is very durable. But this could be a weird fight where Bobby Green just plays it smart, touches, goes, moves. They're both old, so I'm not expecting a giant speed advantage or disadvantage on either side. So King Green's the fan favorite, but I think Diego's going to get it done. What do you think, Jacob?
Yeah, I don't think King's going to pay-per-view be shooting takedowns. I think he had one versus Jim Miller, which might have been an accident, or he was just beating the fuck out of Jim Miller so bad he felt bad. And then the Patty one, he slipped and just kind of went into it because he slipped. I think King's not going to be shooting takedowns. It's going to be back and forth striking battle. I got to take the guy that, as you mentioned, has probably got more power, more durability, and I wouldn't be surprised if Diego's shooting takedowns too. And that dude's got a fucking mean streak in him. I know King Green, I'm a big fan of King Green and what he does, what he brings in the octagon and stuff, but Diego, watch that Michael Johnson fight. Michael Johnson hit him with a couple shots in that first round, and he started talking to Michael Johnson. This could be a very, very fun fight. He was like growling at the dude, and then turned around and ended up flatlining him. But I'm not betting either one of these guys. I'm going to take Diego just because he can do a little bit more. He throws more kicks, leg kicks, head kicks, where Bobby is at this point, or King at this point, just a Philly shell boxer. And that's well and good, and he had success with that. And if he wins, I'm not going to be crazy surprised. But Diego kind of mixes in everything, even some inside trip takedowns and stuff like that. So I'll take the more dynamic fighter at this point, but I'll be rooting for King. I'm picking Diego.
Yeah, I mean, it is an interesting fight to break down when you like the fighter that you don't think wins, because I'm in that same boat. I'm in that boat with the main event, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. If you do think King Green, and I'm trying to not say Bobby, if you do think King Green wins, this $7,700 in DraftKings Fantasy may be worth it, because even without a finish, he's a high-volume striker. If I go back to the stats here real quick, this guy's landing almost 7 significant strikes per minute. That's a very high number. So if he wins this fight, maybe there's a finish. Diego is 40.
You talking about King Green?
Yeah.
That's probably a little skewed because of
the
Tony
stats?
Ferguson and 40-year-old Jim Miller.
And Fazeev. He landed a gazillion strikes against Fiziev. Remember, he started to take over in that third round. But the reality is, should be a fun fight. Good striker versus powerful striker. Could mix in some grappling. If you like Bobby, $7,700 may make sense. The $8,500 on Diego's probably a little more bang for your buck, because if there is a finish, it's going to be on that side. Check out every pick, every bet, every tool. It's not just us. It's me, Jacob, Artem, BetSam, the artificial intelligence, and then a whole bunch of tools along the way. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. It's only $10 for an entire month's worth of access. Everything I just mentioned is available inside of the app. It's also available. You don't need the app. You don't need the app. But if you have an iPhone and you want the app, you can download the app. It's 100% free. Just search We Want Picks in the App Store. And the benefit to the app is push notifications. We will just send you push notifications when bets are placed. I sent one this morning when I placed my Prize Picks entry. The push notifications, just make sure they're enabled and you are good to go. But if you don't have the app or you don't want an app, it's fine. Any mobile browser, any desktop browser, it all works the same. And you'll have full access to our fight simulator. This simulates fights 100,000 times. You'll have full access to the optimizer. The optimizer is building DraftKings fantasy lineups, FanDuel fantasy lineups for you. That's a new addition. We also have a toll-free number for those of you who like to call and leave your opinion. You want to rage when a fight doesn't go your way. You want to leave your prediction. The toll-free number is 866-WE-WANT-PICKS. Give us a call. Leave us a message. We've been using some of the messages for some content here, as well as suggestions. We get, I don't know, 10, 15 messages a day. Depends on the activities in the world. And a lot of the messages are just straight up suggestions. Like, hey, it'd be cool if you did this. People were calling saying, instead of the safety parlay, why don't you just give us your 2 most confident picks and make that a parlay? And people were saying, why don't you poll the premium members and make a parlay out of their time? Lots of different cool ideas. Here's the number. If you want to leave a message, we do listen to all of them. And finally, Jacob and I will be at Noche UFC. It's an early card, so maybe we get some beers and some eggs. But we will be at Noche. We'll be there Friday. Saturday's the fights, but they start at 2 p.m. Come say hi. We'll figure out what we're doing, but we definitely want to meet some people, buy some drinks, and thank you in person for all the support. This might be the last slide. Anything you want to add here?
I'm ready to go swimming in the canal afterwards.
I've never been. Have you been to San Antonio?
I have, yeah, one time.
For what, basketball?
I went to visit my sister.
Oh, gotcha. Because I know they had the Final Four there a couple times.
Oh, I did go to a Pacer game while I was there, but yeah. The Riverwalk is actually pretty cool, but the Alamo?
It's just old rocks.
What? It's a building.
It's made out of rocks. Yeah.
But literally, like, you just, like, the Riverwalk is pretty cool. They got restaurants and stuff all around it or whatever. Then you just walk up the stairs, and everything's in the middle of the city. And then across the street, there's just a building with the sign in front of it. Like, there's the Alamo.
Oh, like, the Alamo's right smack in the middle of the city?
It's just right there. I thought it was like you had to go somewhere, and it's like this big grand thing. It literally is just like across the street from the Riverwalk. There's the Alamo. So we went. My sister's like, "You want to go see it?" I'm like, "Yeah." So we walk across the street. I'm like, "There it is." And we turned around and walked away.
That's so funny. I've never been to. I've been to San Antonio, but for work at the Gaylord, not the Gaylord. It's that fancy fucking Marriott. I don't know. It's in the woods, and we stayed there. So I didn't see any of the downtown. Didn't do the Riverwalk. Done none of it. So
Riverwalk's pretty cool. It's probably if you like base a trip around it, it's probably not something to do. But if you're already in San Antonio and you just happen to do it,
yeah. Well, it'll be perfect for us. You're in the city for 2 nights. You're there to watch some fights. You have 1 night on the boardwalk there.
San Antonio was the first time I had In-N-Out.
Oh, there's one there?
I think.
I prefer Whataburger over In-N-Out. I think In-N-Out's a bit overrated of how soggy it gets, but you're a big Whataburger sucks kind of guy, aren't you?
It's just over-seasoned Whopper.
I do prefer a Whopper over
too.
Whataburger. It's it's the most for your money.
Yeah, it's fucking. You get a double Whataburger burger and it's fucking nice.
It's big.
I can handle a double Whopper, but those are dense fucking patties.
Yeah, it's definitely the most bang for your buck. It's a big ass burger for sure. I like Whataburger, but Whoppers I'll take a Whopper over Whataburger. But I'll eat Whataburger over Wendy's. No. There's my burger tier list.
I like Wendy's.
I
don't get Wendy's enough.
My issue with Wendy's is almost my same. You have one near you. Ours is far as fuck. My issue with Wendy's is similar to my issue with In-N-Out, where if you don't eat it immediately, it's soggy as hell.
I got Steak and Shake for the first time in a while, and on Uber Eats, it's like beef tip fries or something. I'm like, they changed their fucking fries. That was like the best part. Yeah, that was like the best part of the fries, but it's just the way they don't do peanut oil or something now.
Yeah, they use beef tallow. I don't like their fries, though. You like those little skinny fries? I hate that shit.
It's like the best part. Steak and Shake is by far the best. You want to talk about In-N-Out, Whataburger, anything. Steak and Shake is nobody even mentions it because they know it's the best burger.
It's not even worth discussing.
The best burger and fries combination is not even close. And they have good milkshakes. I mean, it's fucking not even close.
My last time eating Steak and Shake was with you in Florida. That was the last time I've had Steak and Shake.
When the fuck did we eat?
We took your Miata. And we went to Steak and Shake.
That's how I crashed my Miata going to Steak and Shake one night. One of those just random Florida monsoons and just spun out and slammed the curb.
Oh, while it was raining or after the fact the water was slick?
So with my Miata, to really give it extra power, I would drive without traction control off. Yeah, I would turn it off every time I got in the car because, as you know, traction control, the second your tires slip, it stops sending power to the tires, which is real fucking annoying. So I would drive with my traction control off all the time. Like, I didn't give a fuck. And I ran into one of those just fucking random downpours where it just rains for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So the road was wet, and I was taking a turn and just fucking popped the clutch and just fucking spun around and hit a curb.
Yeah, I think I remember that. We had one of those today here. Just an absolute downpour monsoon out of nowhere at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Felt good.
And it was like the temperature. It was Florida. Today was Florida. Temperature dropped. It was beautiful out.
It was a 2000.
Yeah, somebody asked what year.
I guess it was a 2016 when I bought it. I bought it new. It was like the first model of the redesign MX-5, I think.
There we go. Opening up the UFC 319. Oh shit, my bad. Hold on. My bad. Here we go. 279 Canadian from Heisenberg. I love you, Big Ange and Jakey Boy. Well, we appreciate you, Heisenberg.
Hey, Candyman, how about I shove my fucking thumb up your ass, you fucking cunt?
Candyman. I came here to hear about predictions, not fast food, you idiots. $2. Oh, Candyman's going to hate this. Now we got paid to talk about fast food. $2 from Rodriguez. In-N-Out is superior compared to Whataburger. My issue, if I was eating them both immediately upon being served to me, maybe. The issue is it's soggy instantly. Like instantly it's soggy. And their fries are dog shit. It's just literally potato. They don't even put salt.
What, In-N-Out?
Yeah. They make them right there. You watch them making the machine, but they're terrible.
I'd rather have In-N-Out here is close to Steak and Shake, and they're similar burgers. I'd rather have Steak and Shake than In-N-Out.
Yeah, I do like animal style, all that, but you got to eat it immediately or not at all. Opening up the UFC 319 main card, we have Tim Elliott taking on Kai Asakura. Tim Elliott, 20-13 in his career, 3-2 in his last 5. He is coming off a very long, almost 2-year layoff, taking on Kai Asakura, 21-5 in his career, 3-2 in his last 5. He is looking for his first ever UFC win. Tim Elliott, as we all know, the definition of grit and grind. Also, a little bit of a voyeur, according to his Twitter. He constantly coming forward. He makes every fight dirty. He makes every fight ugly. He puts a ton of pressure on people, a lot of volume. He stays in your face the entire time. Striking's not technical, but it doesn't matter. He makes up for it with pressure. He's got takedowns right behind almost every punch that he throws. He's got good submissions. He is coming off that submission win over Sumaderji, but that was almost 2 full years ago, taking on Kai Asakura. Kai Asakura, prior to UFC, was a 135-pounder. Then they brought him in because the flyweight division in the UFC was pretty weak. So they literally had to look elsewhere to find somebody to come in here and fight Pantoja. So they went out, they got Kai Asakura. He was doing well in his promotion. He's a big guy. He's got good, powerful striking. He's lightning fast. He's got good gas. He puts himself into harm's way to try to find the finish. He's mobile. He's a hard guy to corner. Unfortunately, the biggest question coming into the UFC was, what's his takedown defense look like? And then we found out, like, it's not great. And Pantoja took him down 3 times and ultimately submitted him. And my question here, and maybe this take is as horrific as you people thought that my take on Steve Erceg was. But what the hell has Kai Asakura done to be a 3-1 favorite? What has he done? They brought him over, and then he immediately gets taken down a couple times and gets submitted. And anybody who's going to come in here and talk about what he's done outside of the UFC, like, oh, he did this, and he beat Manel Kopp in a different promotion 9 years ago, those are the same. This motherfucker just did it. See? Those are the same people that when we get to the Aaron Pico fight are going to say, I don't trust Bellator fighters. I can't pick Aaron Pico. But you're going to trust not even a Bellator fighter here. And I understand he's good. I broke him down. I said he's dangerous. He's got good hands. He's got good striking. I just don't know if the takedown defense is quite where it needs to be. I'm going to go ahead and pick Tim Elliott. I wish 2 things. 1, that Tim Elliott had fought more recently than 20 months ago. And 2, that he didn't go through all that shit on his wedding night. And now he seems to have bounced back quite nicely. But I wish Tim Elliott was a little more active. I know he's old. But if he's just going to come forward and grind, he's not somebody that's just getting flash knocked out. He's not some chinny dude. So if he's going to come forward and grind and he can get a few takedowns against Kai, Tim Elliott could be our man. I'm picking Tim Elliott here. I think he can get it done. Am I going to spend a bunch of money on him? Probably not. But I just can't. 3-1 favorite for a guy that we just watched not be able to defend takedowns. What do you think, Jacob? Is that a horrible take?
I didn't really listen. Dana White promises change to fighter pay after $7.7 billion UFC Paramount deal. Quote, the low-hanging fruit, that's easy to answer. The bonuses are obviously going up. I think he explains a little bit more after the Contender Series in a press conference. So
remember when he raised the bonuses because people at the press conferences were like, it's UFC 300, do 300K. And then they went to London and it was the worst fight card we ever saw. And he was like, don't ever ask me for bigger bonuses again. It's 50 grand forever. Spiteful.
Yeah, I think I was a part of that. I think he saw my tweets. I think he saw my video.
Video did well.
Yeah, obviously Kai came in against Pantoja and didn't look great, but he had his moments. He landed some nice knees, some decent striking. He actually showed some okay get-up game, and that's fucking Pantoja. Tim Elliott's not fucking Pantoja. Is he similar in the way he fights as far as like just ruthless aggression, has grappling, all that stuff? Of course. But the reason why he's minus 300 is because this guy is not fucking Pantoja. I like Tim Elliott. He's a fun guy to watch. If he comes in and gets a takedown and gets a submission win, it's not going to be the craziest thing in the world. But Kai Asakura was preparing for Pantoja. He looked okay against Pantoja. Obviously, he got caught up in the takedown, got submitted. Fucking Pantoja is running through fucking everybody. So Kai Asakura, he's going to be way better on the feet. Tim Elliott with all that hodgy-podgy movement is probably going to get caught by something at some point. We'll see if he can tough it out and get a takedown. But Asakura, I know it's fucking Pantoja. People want to shit on him for losing Pantoja. I can't say enough. It's fucking Pantoja. So this is Tim Elliott. It should be a little bit different. I like him at range. And I don't think Tim Elliott is going to go all in on just kind of hold this guy. He's a showman as well. Pay-per-view, main card. He's going to want to try and strike, and he's probably going to pay the price. But he's a tough dude. I'm taking Kai.
Yeah, listen, and my railroading on Steve Erceg was Steve Erceg's not good, and here's all the reasons why. My Kai Asakura piece, I'm not saying Kai's not good. At no point did I say Kai's not good. I said we haven't seen him be able to defend takedowns when he needs to, and this guy's good at takedowns.
He got up and away against Pantoja.
Yeah, but then ultimately he got taken down 3 times and subbed. I'm not shitting on
because he kept getting up. This is not Pantoja.
I think Kai is a very good striker, and he's obviously a good fighter who's amassed a decent record. I'm just, until I see it against real competition, I can't go 3-1. I got to see it against real competition. And I know people keep pointing out Manel Kopp. Dude, that was so long ago. And Manel was having some success in that fight. So we're split here. $7,000 in DraftKings Fantasy for Tim Elliott. This is an affordable card, so you don't need big, dramatic underdogs. But Tim Elliott plus 3.5 might be something that I look at. DraftKings Fantasy, maybe a shot or two at Tim. If he gets a couple of takedowns, has some success, he can certainly win a round, maybe two. Kai could potentially slow down. He's a big dude to be cutting down to 125. I don't know what that cardio is going to look like. The 125 fight against Pantoja didn't really go long enough to see what the cardio would be. So lots of questions here. It is an interesting fight. I'm looking forward to it. I absolutely despise the 20-month layoff, but if you need a tiebreaker here, check out what BetSam thinks, what Artem thinks. We have an artificial intelligence that just 2 cards ago went 11-1. I don't remember what it did last week, but the artificial intelligence uses historical data, runs it through whatever the hell. It's a neural net, and it makes its decisions based solely off of data. It does not have betting odds. Check that out. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. Couple of super chatterooskies. Ale New York, $4.99. 2 goat emojis. We appreciate you, Ale. Quint says, let's not overthink it, Angelo. Honestly, I'd argue I'm not thinking enough. I'm doing caveman logic. Man see Kai taken down. Tim has takedowns. Tim takedown Kai. I mean, that's boom, boom, boom. I'm too simple here. Appreciate the super chat. Big Maple Bets MMA. Gents, open invite to our next UFC pool. 3,000 average purse ran by a very familiar name. DM me if you want details. Let's go, DDP. I don't know what a UFC pool is, but we appreciate the invite. And you can't DM on YouTube. I assume same username elsewhere.
You used to be able to.
I know. When did they eliminate that? Like 10
ago.
years ago or something, right? Yeah. Ale New York again, $1.99. Angelo comparing Elliott with Murphy. No, I was comparing the logic people are using because if you check out half the comments, I'm never trusting a Bellator fighter. I'm not trusting anybody outside the UFC. And they're talking about Patchy Mix and Aaron Pico and all these other things, but then Kai's going to win.
RDR's where Kai was, and he looks pretty good.
1FC, yep. Giant freak, too.
Kai's pretty big for the weight class.
He is very big. Next up at UFC 319, we have Jared Cannonier taking on Michael Venom Page. Jared Cannonier, 18-8 in his career, 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off that come-from-behind win over Gregory Rodriguez, taking on Michael Venom Page, 23-3 in his career, 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off his win in his middleweight debut. This is another fun fight. I am pretty confident in this fight, and then I'm letting the comments sort of wish-wash my brain here. So I'm going to stick to my original confident pick. Jared Cannonier is a powerful dude. He's incredibly dangerous. He switches from southpaw to orthodox. He throws kicks from both sides. He's got good grappling defense. He's got a great resume. He doesn't have a ton of offensive takedowns, but he does have 6 takedowns in his last 4 fights. So he's starting to add that to the mix as he gets older. And he is coming off of that win over Gregory Rodriguez where he was almost finished bad a few times and then was able to survive, take advantage of the poor cardio on the other side, and get it done. He's taking on MVP Michael Venom Page. This guy is a savage striker. He's got that sport karate style. He stands super wide. He bounces in and out. He covers 6 feet of distance in a half a second. He has some of the most disgustingly violent finishes in history. Go look up MVP versus Cyborg. He dented that dude's head. He did the same thing to somebody's knee. Michael Venom Page doesn't look like anything special. He's tall, he's skinny, but he is absolutely destroying people. Look what he did to Kevin Holland in his UFC debut. Michael Venom Page has a very awkward style. He has lightning speed, and there is power in there, but it's really just the speed and the timing that gets it done. I think this matchup is quite literally perfect for MVP. Jared Cannonier is not super fast. He's actually, I'd argue, slow. And he's not going to be able to keep up with MVP. His only chance is going to be to rush MVP against the cage and try to hold him there to avoid the chaos. But that's been MVP's entire career, is avoiding people rushing him against the cage. So I think this is a just perfect showcase for that karate sport style striking. I think MVP absolutely dominates here. But you guys have me questioning. Jared's huge. He's big. MVP's at 170. So now you guys it's seeping into my brain. I'm starting to get some doubt. But my initial read here is this is a great matchup for Michael Venom Page. What do you think, Jacob?
Yeah, I want to play him inside the distance, but he kind of plays around a little bit too much to be able to do that. I played a -3.5. I think he dominates the fight. You look at Jared Cannonier's career. Every time he's fought a movement striker, he's fucking lost. Robert Whitaker, Izzy, Imavov, even Kaio kind of has that karate stance. He loses to all these guys. Now he's getting dropped. On top of it, Michael Venom Page, I think he's going to land a shot and hurt the guy. It's just whether MVP wants to chase a finish or if he's going to do the Kevin Holland kind of the robot dance and kind of style on him. Yeah, Jared's going to have to clinch and get takedowns, and I just don't think it's going to happen. Obviously, people are going to bring up, well, Ian Gary had a little bit more of a dynamic striking to be able to set up those type of engagements. I think MVP at 185 is obviously it's probably where he should be at this point in his career. He's a big dude. I met him in the elevator. He's a big dude. Nice guy as well. Should be a good fight for him.
Yeah, I'm glad we're on the same side there because I literally the
he's
comments.
Hurt this guy. It's just whether he finished him or not.
Dude, my initial read was like, this is a slower, older dude who's getting a little chinny. This is a perfect matchup.
Jared Cannonier just high guard, just lumbers towards you, like just kind of plots for you. I mean, MVP just going to split the guard and fucking hurt him.
Dude, the first time you were at my house, I forget what the number was, when he made his UFC debut against Kevin Holland, and we were just like, holy shit, like, he is so fast. The distance this guy covers is absolutely insane. The spinning back elbow. And Kevin Holland is 10 times faster than Jared Cannonier. And long.
Yeah, I mean, I had him as my lock of the week when he fought Shara, and I said, it's just, you get in there and you just freeze versus people like this. I mean, Wonderboy kind of does the same, but Wonderboy isn't nearly as dangerous as an MVP with the way he throws strikes. So Jared's going to come in and be a little bit frozen because everyone freezes, and by the time you try to get yourself into the fight, it's fucking too late.
No, I love it. I'm on the MVP side as well. -185. He opened at -135, so he got a little bit of juice. But this is pretty level. This hasn't moved much in the last couple of days. I think people are worried about Jared Cannonier as a physical specimen. He might just hold MVP against the cage. We got 3 rounds to work with here. MVP's got plenty of cardio. $8,700 in DraftKings Fantasy. I do like that because I do think the same thing as Jacob, where he can connect big, and Jared Cannonier is 41. We're not talking about a 32-year-old. He's 41. The chin is one of the first thing that goes. The speed is another first thing that goes. So 2 first things. And you're going to need both of those if you're fighting MVP. So MVP is going to be the pick here. Very confident in that. If you want to check out the bets that we already have for this fight, go to wewantpicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. Next up, at UFC 319, we have Jeff Neal taking on Carlos Prates. Jeff Neal, 16-6 in his career. He is 3-2 in his last 5. He is coming off that knee injury win over RDA, where didn't really go long enough to know what was going to happen in the outcome there. Taking on Carlos Prates, 21-7 in his career. 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming off that decision loss to Ian Gary, where he rallied and almost had some success late. Jeff Neal is a good fighter. He's sort of the test, the barometer, the bar to measure how good some of these fighters are or are not. He was the first person to get Shavkat Rakhmonov anywhere near a decision. And that's how they're sort of using him here. Try to find out how good is Carlos. Like, we watched him smoke some people. Then we watched him lose to Ian. Where is he on this scale? And it's not going to be the easiest test because Jeff Neal is good. He's got real power. He's got solid volume. He's got good takedown defense. He's not crazy technical, but he's aggressive and he throws hard. He doesn't really need to be technical because he can dictate that pace. He can dictate the range and he can fire away in exchanges. If you get in his face, if you tie him up a little bit, he can get a bit frustrated. I mentioned he's coming off that injury win over Rafael Dos Anjos, taking on Carlos Prates. Carlos Prates, a dangerous striker. He's got big power. He's got great range control. He's pretty light in his feet. He manages to throw kicks basically whenever, wherever. He moves really well. He'll just drop on a dime and just boom, a kick just right at your head immediately. And it's all insane because, as we know, this dude smokes a pack of cigarettes a day, just drinks like it's no big deal. He is coming off of that loss to Ian Gary where he was a little bit behind in the striking. But he had that late rally, and I'm still convinced that if he threw a few more strikes and poured it on just a little bit more, maybe ditched a cigarette or two, they would have stopped that fight in his favor. And in that fight, we saw Carlos Prates is not quite as good as we thought he was, but also at the exact same time, a little better than we thought he was. He's not quite as good because he was just literally outstruck by Ian Gary. Ian Gary was just a little more technical. The threat of takedowns were a problem for Carlos. But he was better than we thought because he did not give up. That was a 5-round fight. And very late in that fight, he is still moving forward, still landing clean, still making stuff happen. He didn't get frustrated. He wasn't absorbed by the moment. He was just losing to the better fighter and then had a late rally. I think he wins here. I'm going to pick him to beat Jeff Neal. I think he's just going to be a little too fast, a little too clean with the striking. I think he's going to be a little too accurate. So I'm going to pick Carlos Prates. But, I mean, Jeff Neal's good. So it's a little nerve-wracking, but I think he gets it done. What do you think, Jacob?
Yeah, I'm staying away from this one completely. I just want to enjoy this fight. I'm going to pick Prates because I think he is a little bit cleaner striker than a guy like Jeff Neal. But you're going to hear Saif Saud screaming at Jeff Neal to be first, be forward, because that's how he's going to be able to win this fight. You got to push this guy backwards because if he's able to control the middle of the octagon and fight in space, he's going to be the rangier, more dynamic fighter, and he's going to get you in trouble. But if Jeff Neal can get in this guy's face, can make this a kind of a close boxing fight, dirty boxing, all that type of stuff. You saw him hurt Shavkat in that type of fight. You just can't let this guy, Carlos, start moving downhill at range, bouncing around left and right. You got to corral him. You got to be first. You got to be pressure. And a guy like Jeff Neal can get that done. So I'm not putting I'm not fucking betting this fight at all. I'm going to sit there and watch as a fan. I'm picking Prates to be able to do more at range. But if Jeff Neal comes in with the pressure, makes this dirty and lands some shit, he can definitely win this fight. So everyone that's playing Jeff Neal is a value player or this and that or whatever, I fucking get it. I was on the Ian Gary side of the Prates fight, but I think Prates should be able to do this one, get this one done.
Yeah, it's a tricky fight. I'm not nearly as confident in this as I was just the last breakdown with MVP because we still got to see, like, what is Carlos Prates going to do? He's now squarely in the upper part of this division, right? This isn't Charlie Radke. This isn't Trevin Giles. This isn't Jing Lang. This is, an established guy who has fought some of the best people on the planet and had decent success. He just fought one of the best contenders at this weight class, didn't quite get there. So we don't know where Prates actually falls yet. So I think it's a great test. I think it's a great matchup to find out how good Carlos Prates is or is not. But I agree with Jacob. Nothing I'm confident enough in to throw a bunch of money at. $7,100 in DraftKings Fantasy for Jeff Neal. $9,100 for Carlos Prates. I had to go back and see. I know Jeff Neal was finished by Shavkat, but was he knocked out? He was not. So now it's like $9,100. Carlos Prates, there's not a backup plan. There's not let me shoot some really nice takedowns. I'm going to trust my hands. But if Jeff Neal is too durable, too in his face, too much pressure, he's not going to find a finish. So even if Carlos, let's say, takes an easy decision, $9,100 in DraftKings Fantasy may not be worth it. You're going to have the finish there. So that's up to you if you're that confident or not. Check out WeWantPicks.com. Full-blown website with picks and bets and tools. It's the most interactive, most robust. It's $10 for an entire month. $10. You can't get 6 wings at Wingstop for $10. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. $5 Canadian from Peter Hodes. Ange, you turkey flap those wings, boy. Is he telling me to do this? What does that mean? What does that mean?
I didn't fucking donate. I don't know.
You turkey flap those wings. Is he asking me? Is he saying that I've got a turkey flap? Thanks for becoming a YouTube member, Peter. YouTube membership is just another way to support the boys. It's here on YouTube specifically. You get a crown next to your name. I have to look at the perks and see what else we can add to make it even more enticing. So thank you for that. And this is not a super chat. For all at the top said Brahms. Have you had Brahms yet?
What?
Brahms. It's like ice cream and old timey burgers. It's there's one in Frisco.
I don't know if you can tell by looking at me. I don't eat ice cream.
It's not, but I just said old timey burgers too. People go for the food.
I'm pretty excited for the adult Happy Meals that are coming at McDonald's. I'm getting ready to order McDonald's right now.
What's in the adult Happy Meals?
I don't know, maybe one of those WNBA dildos or something.
That is wild.
What's so wild about it?
try to be like the legitimate sport. People just launching dildos onto the court. Crazy.
I mean, the best part is, what's her name? Was Sophia Cunningham, or I don't know what her name is.
Yeah,
Sophie. She tweeted, like, guys, don't do this because somebody might end up getting hurt. And
then she got
smacked. Well, I don't think it's happening a little bit, though.
What's crazy is she got crazy. Nobody knew who the hell she was. And then her and Caitlin Clark buddied up, and she stood up for Caitlin Clark a few times. And turns out Sophie Cunningham's hot. So now, boom, immediately, like she just took off. Now she's in commercials. So good for her. It's crazy. Crazy how quickly you can rise to fame.
I love those tall bitches.
I mean, she's tall as fuck. And she's like a Taekwondo national champ or something, too. So she blew up fast. Good for her. Sticking up for her friend. Next up, at UFC 319, we have the co-main event of the evening. We have Lerone Murphy taking on Aaron Pico. Lerone Murphy, undefeated in his career at 16-0. He has 7 finishes. He is taking on Aaron Pico. 13-4 in his career, 4-1 in his last 5. He is making his long-awaited UFC debut. This is a matchup that has people torn all over the place. I have not seen anywhere where majority of people agree on this fight. You either get, I don't trust any of these Bellator fighters, and we just saw Patchy Mix destroy his bloodline. Then you get people saying Lerone Murphy's just a point fighter. Aaron Pico is a nasty boxer and has unbelievable wrestling. So I understand the question marks here, and that's what makes it a great fight, because we don't agree, and we'll have those questions answered on Saturday night. We got Lerone Murphy, very good striker. He moves incredibly well. He'll light up your body. He'll step completely out of the pocket, move away, then he'll come back in. His footwork is very good. He is sneaky dangerous on his feet. His takedown defense is listed at 52%, but he does a really good job scrambling back up if he is taken down. He's taking on Aaron Pico. A lot of you might not recognize that name. He's one of the more hyped prospects signed by the UFC. He originally was supposed to pop up against Movsar Evloev in UFC Abu Dhabi, but now he's in this co-main event in one of the bigger pay-per-views of the year. The reality is he's a very good fighter. He's a nasty striker. He's a great boxer. He's got phenomenal credentials top to bottom. He made his way to the finals of the Olympic trials. It was 1-1, and I think he gave up a point not to make the Olympic team. He went right from there. That was out of high school. And he went right from there to, fuck it, I'm going to fight professionally. Now you're going to say, well, he's got 5 losses on his record. 4 losses on his record. One of them is a straight up injury. So one's an injury, wasn't really a true loss. The other ones, he was just rushed too soon. This guy is in his mid-20s at this point, and he just had too much too soon. There was too much hype, too much money, didn't quite get the normal work your way up that most people do, but he is a nasty wrestler. He's got very clean boxing. Aaron Pico is a very good fighter. The people picking against him are just citing his losses or the sins of Bellator past, like Patchy Mix. I'm going with Aaron Pico here. I'm pretty confident in him. The reality is he is 10 times the fighter now than he was in 2019 with his last legitimate loss. Lerone is extremely technical on the feet. He can certainly have some success striking, but I do think Pico's wrestling is going to be way too much here. If old ass one punch power, whatever the hell his name is, what the hell is his name? Josh Emmett was able to take Lerone Murphy down 4 times. I can't imagine what clean, smooth striker Aaron Pico, also with much higher level wrestling, can do. Aaron Pico is going to be the pick, and the odds have been yo-yoing quite a bit here. What do you think, Jacob?
I'm going to tell you exactly how this fight's going to go. You guys are going to watch the fight, and you're going to be like, wow, that's exactly what Jacob said is going to happen, and this is what's going to happen. Aaron Pico's going to come in. He's going to try to prove a point, right? He's heard all this stuff. He wants to make a statement. Co-main event, big point, or big spot on the card. Statement wants to be made. He's going to come in, wrestle, first round. Boom, 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 boom. Try to get the takedowns, try to control the wrestling, look good. Lerone Murphy's going to make him work. Lerone Murphy's not a guy, even if you watch Aaron Pico in Bellator versus not very good guys, he doesn't really hold people down very well. He can get takedowns, but people can get up. Lerone Murphy knows how to fucking get up. So Aaron Pico's going to come in, take down, blah, 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 maybe have 5-6 takedowns. Not a whole lot of control, not a whole lot of damage. Lerrone's going to get up. He's a savvy veteran. He knows what he's doing. Then, second round's going to start. Those takedowns aren't going to fucking start. They're not going to keep working. He's going to gas himself in the first round, adrenaline dump, try to make a statement, overwork himself the first round. Lerone Murphy is much different than those people that he's been fighting. And once the takedowns stop working, Lerone Murphy's going to do what Lerone Murphy does. Footwork, outside, point fight, touch, failed takedown, touch, failed takedown, touch, cage control, circle off, touch. It's going to be a 29-28 Lerone Murphy win. It's going to make it look like just a classic Lerone Murphy fight. Just withstand the crazy pressure early, do his thing in the later rounds. People are going to be like, oh my God, it's a close fight. Lerone Murphy's going to win the fight.
I'm surprised. And does a lot of that have to do with what Aaron's level of competition was? And you're like, I can't trust this guy at this level?
I just, he doesn't keep people down. If you're not keeping this guy down, you're going to have to shoot. You're going to have to get fucking 10, 15 takedowns. You're not going to get that against Lerone Murphy.
Yeah, I mean, I am an Aaron Pico believer, but I've been following his career for way too freaking long. So I might have some inherent bias, but I remember the hype when he first went pro and then when he first went to the Bellator. And so I'm believing in Aaron Pico here. I do think he gets it done. I am surprised that he is such a big favorite against an undefeated guy who has been tested. But in my mind, Lerone Murphy, I mean, he did come back. He is tough, but he got dropped bad against Dan Ige. It was a competitive fight against Josh Emmett. Like, Lerone Murphy is a typical, very good striker, very clean, but he's not like he doesn't run away with a fight. He wins the close ones. And those are my thoughts.
Sounds like the perfect matchup for this.
I mean, the scenario you ran through is obviously not outlandish. That's exactly what
Pico's going to come in and try to make a fucking statement. And maybe he's able to get a finish. I mean, he's capable. Obviously, I've seen the highlights. He's capable, but he's going to come in and try to make a statement in the first round, and he's not going to pace himself. And Lerone Murphy, he's just Mr. Calm, Cool, and Collected. He doesn't get overwhelmed. He just does what he does.
Well, because I remember you and I were at Cosm for UFC 318. I had Lerone Murphy in the safety parlay. And Dan Ige almost finishes him in the first. I was like, oh, fuck me. But Cool, Calm, Collected was able to gather his shit and just rally and take over the rest of that fight.
Yeah, he got smoked with an up kick versus Barbosa, went to the corner, gathered himself, and dominated the fight.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't hate anybody on the Lerone Murphy side. You at least broke it down logically and didn't just say, oh, Bellator fighters suck. You talked more about Lerone Murphy's actual skill set because the number one theme is Bellator fighters suck. I'm not going with Bellator fighters, which I don't.
Knows is a dangerous guy. He's going to sit back. He's going to be wait for the takedowns, circle out, good footwork, good counter boxing, fight at range. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very excited for this matchup. That's what makes these fights good. Where you don't quite know exactly what's going to happen. Competitive matchup, some fresh blood in this division. And if Lerone Murphy wins this fight, it's like, well, at this point, you got to be talking about him to get a title shot. If you need a tiebreaker, because Jacob and I are split
here.
The
last guy he fought was fucking 40 on a 2-year layoff, and he couldn't even hold that guy down.
Are you talking about Lerone Murphy? Because that was quite literally of Lerone Murphy's circumstances as well. Literally.
What?
Those are Lerone Murphy's circumstances as well. He fought a 40-year-old coming off a long layoff.
Josh Emmett was an actual fighter. The guy Aaron Pico fought wasn't a fucking anything. Aaron Pico was supposed to be his dominant whatever. He couldn't hold that guy down.
I mean, I'm believing the hype. I guess we'll see what ends up happening. You guys know I am partial to my wrestlers.
It'll go exactly how I said.
I'm going to be annoyed if it does. I'll be honest with you. $8,000 in DraftKings Fantasy, $8,200 in DraftKings Fantasy. They obviously see this as a very close fight, which I imagine it will be. And if it's not close, it's because, I mean, Aaron Pico is the more dangerous of the two. So an inside the distance decision, no action type bet on him, but that's going to be juiced. If you do want to check out every pick, every bet, every tool, if you want a tiebreaker here, because Jacob and I didn't fully agree, we have an artificial intelligence picking fights based solely off of historical data. Check it all out. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. It is only $10 for an entire month's worth of access.
This is $45 at McDonald's I just ordered.
Is it all fees? What the hell's in a $45 order?
Oh my God. I ordered too much because this was a previous order. They used to have 6-piece nugget, buy one, get one free, but they don't this time. So that's why the total is
because
so
you
much.
ordered 2 things of nuggets. Dude,
Yeah, I 6-piece nugget, 6-piece nugget, medium fry, ranch snack wrap, 2 cheeseburger meal.
I mean, that's a lot, but that's not crazy. That's not $45. Why is that so expensive? Dude, that's $45 and premium membership's only $10.
It's $41.29.
Uber price, or that's just the straight up in the cart price before you checked out?
That's the total before tip.
Dude, it's crazy how expensive Uber is. That $10 a month for Uber pays for itself with one order.
How much I tip? I always give them 25%. So it's like $11 or something.
The
Oh, hello, Louisa.
Louisa has picked up your order. She looks like she's fighting on this card, honestly.
The fuck does that mean?
She has that Brazil look to her.
She speaks Spanish. What kind of racist are you?
Great. So is Loopy. Couple of super chats. Ale New York, $1.99. Lerone going to be Jacob's lock of the week. And what is that a picture of? A sweep and a hammer. Ale, $1.99 again. Lerone might chin him in the third. Like, you're getting carried away. I know people say Aaron's got no chin. That was many, many years ago when he was just a child. Wasn't quite ready for the big game. That's like saying Chase Hooper has no chin because Steve Garcia ran through him. Very different. Very different. Next up, at UFC 319, we have the main event of the evening. And I don't know about you, but I am quite literally the most excited I have been for a main event this year, other than DDP and Israel Adesanya. Turns out DDP is like the new cash cow. He's the new superstar. And I'm more excited for this than the Adesanya fight because Adesanya wasn't even come off a win. At least DDP has been on his little streak here. Khamzat Chimaev is on his streak as well. So this is a very impactful fight, and we're going to learn a lot about both of these guys. I am very much looking forward to this fight. We got Dricus du Plessis, the current world champion, 23-2 in his career. He is 5-0 in his last 5, and he is on an 11-fight win streak. He's taken on Khamzat Chimaev, 14-0, undefeated with 12 stoppages. He has only been to 2 ever decisions. One was the short notice against Kamaru Usman, and the other was a 170-pound fight with Gilbert Burns.
Just real quick, too, because I know that little video is circulating. Everyone's like, oh, my God, Chimaev's huge. Look how big he is. First of all, bet the taller fighter every time. Let's see how you do. Second of all, here is DDP and Whitaker. So you can see DDP is just a little bit taller than Whitaker there. And then here's Chimaev and Whitaker. Obviously taller, but it's not like anything crazy.
I don't even know what picture you're talking about. Is that what Casey saw that he texted us?
Yeah, there's like a video of them meeting for the first time, and it's a video from behind Chimaev approaching DDP, and Chimaev looks like he's fucking 10 inches taller than DDP. And people are like, oh my God, look how big he is. Like, shut the fuck up. Bet the taller fighter every time and see how you do.
Well, he's skinny too, and DDP's not. Like, he's a brute. So I wouldn't go off just height. This is an exciting fight. And it's a very similar narrative. No matter who you ask, you're going to get basically the same breakdown. I'll talk about each fighter. DDP, as we all know, hilariously, people like to talk about the fact that he just kind of goes out there and does crazy shit. It's not clean. It's not technical. He's just a brute that's moving forward doing brute things. And the funniest part about it is DDP is wildly aware about that. I have seen him react to videos of people trying to break down his fights technically. Like, oh, the way he set this up. And he literally is like, I didn't set that up. I was just running forward and throwing punches. But he continues to win. One of my favorite DDP clips that is circulating the internet, I don't know if you've seen this one, where it says DDP submitting every member of this Gracie Baja gym, and it's just him literally running through the Gracies.
Were you talking to me?
Yeah, forget it. That was DDP. Khamzat Chimaev, high-level wrestler. That's kind of where it ends, right? He's got some technical striking, but he's a high-level wrestler. When he first burst onto the scene during COVID, he was a guy that all we heard was legend stories. He sleeps at the gym. He trains 12 hours straight. This guy's an animal. But then he got COVID, and it was bad, to the point where his cardio has quite literally never been the same from before that point. All the stories about the endless cardio from Chimaev just didn't really come to fruition because he got COVID and he never fully recovered, at least according to him. Khamzat Chimaev is not just a regular wrestler. He competed as a wrestler, represented multiple nations. And the breakdown from me is going to be the breakdown from most, except I've got a little bit of a slightly different conclusion there. Most people are breaking this down saying, if Dricus du Plessis is able to survive, then Khamzat Chimaev is screwed. And I just hate that notion that you're picking DDP because you think he can survive. Surviving is not really a game plan. I also don't fully agree with Khamzat has no cardio. Khamzat has no cardio. Because the only two fights that people cite when they say Khamzat has no cardio is at 170 pounds against Gilbert Burns. He's just too big to be cutting that kind of weight. And the Kamaru Usman fight. And while I fully understand Kamaru was on short notice, not Khamzat, when you know you're only fighting a 3-round fight, you pace for a 3-round fight. You train for a 3-round fight. You are mentally in a 3-round fight. So yes, he dominated that first round, beat the shit out of Kamaru Usman in that first round, slowed down in the second, but still was able to get that done, and did nothing in the third. He coasted in the third. So myself, I said if that was a 5-round fight, Khamzat will lose, just the way that was trending. And I get it. I said that. I believe that statement. But it's also kind of a crazy thing to really lean on, because the reality is if that was a 5-round fight, maybe Khamzat doesn't take the 3rd round off. Maybe he pushes forward. So I'm not just going to fully buy into this whole Khamzat has no cardio, it's a finish early or nothing. I think Khamzat's wrestling is just that fucking good. And I think he can get DD down almost instantly, shooting one of those insanely low ankle pick type singles. And once they're on the ground, Khamzat's not somebody, you don't stand up on Khamzat. You don't scramble your way out of Khamzat. So obviously, DDP is insanely durable. He's insanely tough. He's an absolute brute. And if he just keeps coming and coming and coming and moving forward, then of course DDP can win this fight. I am going to pick Khamzat. I am full-blown 100% rooting for DDP. It's better for the division. It's better for the sport. We need DDP to win. But I do think that Khamzat wrestling is just too damn good. To win? I agree with what's his name said, where Khamzat doesn't fight often enough. He pulls out of too many fights. He's too unreliable to be the actual world champion. Plus, DDP's just got such an incredible personality, huge fan favorite, making people cry. A lot of really fun matchups to still have. So I personally am rooting for and want DDP to win, but I think Khamzat can pull it off. What do you think?
I think that anybody that acts like they know what's going to happen in this fight is fucking clueless. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen in this fight. I've been a DDP hater for a long time. I said DDP sucks, and then I was all over Robert Whittaker against DDP. He fucking proved me wrong, and I vowed to never pick against DDP again. He was my lock of the week versus Izzy, and then I picked against him again against Sean Strickland, and that was obviously a fucking mistake. I was actually pretty high on one of the only people I think I was pretty high on Usman going into that Chimaev fight, but Usman in that fight was, he was all fucking defense. That first round, it was fucking, just fucking don't fucking get submitted, all fucking defense, and still almost got he had to dump Chimaev on his fucking head, because that was a panic fucking dump by Usman, because Chimaev, even with Usman fucking all defense, still fucking snuck that choke in there. DDP is a guy, and he said, I'm not going in there to survive. I'm in there to hunt. And DDP is a very underrated grappler. You mentioned with the Gracies, the Baja, whatever it was, where you're just submitting everybody left or right. He is a very underrated grappler. Obviously, he's very sloppy in everything that he does, and I vowed to never pick against DDP. So just based on principle, I'm taking DDP. Based on principle, I did put just a little bit on DDP. But honestly, the more you think about this fight, you know he's going to get the takedown. And if DDP is not fucking all defense and he's really trying to out-scramble Chimaev, as you mentioned, it just doesn't happen. I mean, you're just in the first 2 or 3 minutes of this fight, you're fucking not going to out-scramble Chimaev. So out of principle, out of bias, I'm taking DDP. But honestly, the more I think about it, it feels like Chimaev's just going to fucking grab his neck and pop his head off. But I'm sticking with my principle. I'm a man of principle. I'm taking DDP. I got money on DDP, and I think he finds a way to figure it out. He finds a way to figure it out all the other times. And the best asset that DDP has is his fucking head coach. His head coach is not only a fucking genius when it comes to game planning, but the confidence that he instills into DDP is out of fucking control. I absolutely love his head coach. Doesn't take shit, very structured, but he gives fucking confidence to his fighter, and the confidence that DDP carries is because of his head coach. He's going to be confident. He knows he's going to win this fight, and sometimes that confidence can just carry you, and it's carried him this far. I'm taking DDP, but anybody that acts like they know what's going to happen is fucking fooling themselves. I'll sit back and watch, and it should be fun.
I literally agree with every single thing you said. So obviously we have to do a pick. So I'm going with Chimaev. I've been pretty loud about DDP will win over the last couple of months unofficially. But then when it came down to like sit down and like do my little script and make the pick, I was like, oh, dude, watching that tape and stuff like that. Because in my mind, I built it up to he won the first against Usman. He won the first round. The second one was super sketchy. And then it's like, I watched it. It's like, that wasn't it at all. He dominated the first round, clearly won the second, and took the third off. And if that was a 5-round fight, maybe he doesn't take that round off. So we did get this comment, and I'm going to point a few things out. Vince says, crazy how little homework you have done on Khamzat to make all those comments about him being bad for the UFC. Okay, let me address a few things. I didn't say he's bad for the UFC. I said we need Drakkar as the champ. Those are two different statements. And that's because I'm looking at Khamzat's record right now. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 canceled fights. 7 canceled fights in the last 5 years. That includes when he completely missed weight against Nate Diaz. There's also been giant layoffs. He went 2022 to full-blown 2023, full 12 months. Then he fights in 2023, full-blown 12 months for 2024. October 24, full-blown almost, 10 months to August. He doesn't fight often enough. He's not allowed to fight in America. He literally got a pass from President Trump to fight in America. That's how he's here.
He was just waiting for a title fight. Everyone always just kind of sits out waiting for a title fight.
But that's not what the gap between the Kevin Holland fight and the Kamaru Usman fight was over a year. That's not waiting for a title fight. That was hospitalization.
A lot of these top guys, a lot of them only fight once a year.
I guess the issue with him is he's been hospitalized more than one time for random illnesses. He has, how many times is he, this is it, he's going to retire, things are really bad. That's happened 3 or 4 times. He's not allowed to fight in America. He literally got a pass from President Trump to fight in America. And I don't know what other countries he's not allowed to fight in, which is why he's basically only been fighting in Abu Dhabi. So I am picking him to win. I think he's a great personality. And I think from the entertainment aspect, if you can guarantee me that he'll fight once or twice a year, then great. But I don't know how real that is. So that's where my comments came from, that Drakkar is we need Drakkar to win for the division's sake. Especially right now with Fluffy putting on the performance he did. We got Kyle Barallo versus Nasruddin in a couple of weeks. We just had RDR. This division right now is the best it has ever been, and we need somebody that's going to stay active so they can work their way through all these top talents.
The last time we saw a corner throw in a towel in the middle of a fight was when?
I don't know.
When DDP was beating the fuck out of Brunson.
Oh, and didn't the ref ignore the towel too?
I don't think he saw it. He stopped the fight basically at the same time they threw the towel, but he made him throw the fucking towel. I was at that fight. That was a fucking prelim. That card was fucking stacked. Ian Gary was on the early prelims. DDP was on the prelims. It's a crazy card.
That is crazy. Well, because I remember too when, so in the Darren Till fight, it was sloppy as fuck, and Darren Till was having a ton of success, and then he finally wins that fight, and then he got surgery because the narrative for DDP was that he has no cardio. His cardio. What did they pull out of his nose? Was it deviated septum, a tumor or some shit?
He fixed his nose for his breathing and stuff. But yeah, the whole obviously I'm kind of a DDP hater as well, but the whole fact that like only Chimaev, I've seen people talk about that too, but that only Chimaev is going to get tired in this fight. DDP gets fucking, he's just a dog. I mean, he just fucking dogs that shit out, but he gets fucking, he's just fucking just sloppy. He gets fucking tired and sloppy as shit too. So it's not like Chimaev has one round and then DDP just going to fucking, he gets fucking sloppy too.
Yeah. No, this is a spectacular. I am very, very excited for this fight. Like, very excited for this fight. So many. Khamzat has been hyped since COVID. That's when he popped up because he fought, twice in a week and a half or something crazy like that. Like, I'm very pumped for this fight. Very pumped. This is a great fight card. $8,900 in DraftKings Fantasy, $7,300 in DraftKings. I mean, that's an unbelievable price on the current world champion. Pick your side, whatever side you're on.
It's crazy to think that one of these guys is going to walk out of the octagon
a loser, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you're right, because DDP has been on an absolute tear. If DDP wins this, I mean, he's 1 or 2 fights away from being in the conversation for all-time middleweight.
I mean, that resume is pretty crazy.
And right now, the middleweight division is historically a pretty weak division. Like, when Anderson Silva was king, it was him, Rich Franklin, and a bunch of bums. Like, not a good weight class. And then when Adesanya was king, because everybody else in between, Weidman had I think 1 title defense. Rockhold had no title defenses. And then when GSP had no title defenses, Michael Bisping had no title defenses. Like, the belt was just a revolving door between Anderson Silva and Adesanya. And even Adesanya, like, Robert Whittaker was his number 2. The rest of the division we're seeing now wasn't that great. But right now, this moment, the top 10 in the middleweight division are quite literally, it's the deepest this division has ever been. So this is a great matchup, a great title fight in the big division.
Smokes Fluffy.
I do too. Listen, my take on the
He's
Fluffy.
not going to be fucking rolling for leg locks. I can't believe that.
That was the most embarrassing shit I ever saw.
You got this big fucking Georgian just fucking rolling for leg locks? What are you doing,
He
man?
was
immediately. It wasn't
by
like I could
choice,
see
yeah.
you're tired, you're desperate, like to last, like let me roll. Like that was the game plan. Okay, he's gonna take me down. Every time I get taken down, I'm gonna roll for a fucking leg lock. What are you doing, man?
Dude, he was literally face down, ass up, reaching between his legs. Like, come on. Dude, that was that was bad. That was bad. And like Fluffy, I'm not trying to take anything away from him. That fight was more about how bad Roman looked than like, oh.
That's what Roman was just never going to win that fight ever, is what Cage Compass says. So somebody tweeted me too, like, what did you even see in the tape that would make you want to pick
his
Roman?
14 previous
Dude,
fights?
Brendan Allen was fucking fully mounting this guy, elbowing him in the face and almost choking him out in the first round. I would have assumed that a big-ass fucking Roman Dolidze, it's a world-class grappler, could have maybe gotten a close position like that as well. What a joke.
No, I know it was a very bizarre performance for sure. But this is an unbelievable weight class. This is a great fight. This whole card is stacked. I appreciate you guys hanging out. If you want to become a premium member, it's the best way to support us. WeWantPicks.com. Click become a member at the top. And it's not just like 3-4 bets. It's an entire suite of tools and insight and information. There's quite literally nothing like it in this space. It's only $10 for an entire month's worth of access. Thank you again. We crossed 10 million views. It's crazy. It's crazy. We've been doing this for what? It was after COVID. 4 years? I think 4 years. 10 million views. Nuts. We didn't even get the COVID boost. This is all organic. Thank you guys for being here. Genuinely, wildly appreciated. We do have an app. We rolled it out last year. Everything we do on the website is available inside of the app, like the fight simulator. Simulates fights 100,000 times. Jacob's food just showed up. Like the optimizer, This will build DraftKings Fantasy and FanDuel Fantasy lineups for you. The data analyzer, you can do your own research, deep dive fights. The line movement tracker, this will give you the opening odds, current odds, win probability, and line movement for every fighter on every card. The prop hunter, curated set of data specifically designed to help you find prop bets. And a tape index. For those of you who like to watch the fights and do your own research, Tape Index lines it all up for you. And with the UFC's big announcement going to Paramount Plus, the Tape Index will auto-adjust. And as those tapes move, as the fight library moves, so will the links. And it's not just me. You got me. You got Jacob. You've got Bet Sam here telling Jacob to enjoy the nuggies. We've got Artem, the regional Rain Man, picking not only Contender Series fights, but LFA, other shows as well. All of it right now, $10. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. A couple of super chats, and then we'll head out of here. Ale New York, $1.99 says, chin with time gets worse, not better, and then laughing emoji. There's no fucking way I said the chin gets better. There's no way. I'm 99% sure I said the chin is the first thing that goes, and then speed is the first thing that goes. There's two first things that go. I agree. The chin absolutely gets worse. Another $1.99 from Ale. Me and Jacob running Chimaev sub under a half a round plus 900. That's a new same game parlay type option there. So it's 3 different bets and it gets you to plus 900. It's Chimaev. It's to win by sub, and it's to win by sub in under a half of a round. Not a round and a half, under a half and a round, plus 900. Honestly, that's not awful. That bet would have paid out versus Robert Whitaker. And then $5 super chat from Brandon Lawson. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you. Well, Brandon, I appreciate you. I genuinely appreciate every last one of you. The growth is astonishing. Even the last, if I want to look at the last few years, mind-blowing. If I want to look at the last few weeks, mind-blowing. A lot of that has to do with Jacob's 7-hour live streams on Saturdays and you guys showing up. So genuinely thank all of you for being here. It's our favorite sport. We love you guys. Thanks for everything. Hopefully this weekend goes as well as the last few have. Good luck. We'll see you in the next one.